My crew. Every champion starts with one moment. Activate your place in the world of esports. Compete, manage, track, dominate. Everything you need in one platform. Gear up for WEC25. For results, streams, and more, visit IESF.gg.
To be in the zone, gamers need true support. One that's in sync with your body at every angle. Takes your weight without pressure. Fully adjustable to cradle your spine and adapts as you shift in your seat. True ergonomic alignment to achieve your perfect gaming form.
Data habis? Jangan risau. Tukar ke Red One Mobile untuk data pantas 5G Extra. Nak peran data telefon, Red One Mobile kan ada.
Toss a coin in the waterfalls in the wishing well. Now I get plenty coin, some self-made. You ain't gotta wish me well. You ain't like me then, but I guess it's past tense, cause you tapped in. You was never who you said. I see the facade when looking at really me. That you can tell my guard up. I ain't taking L's. If it's not in my favor, won't sign a deal. I got the royalty in the mail. I got authority in the field. Take a look in my iris. I be precise with the timing. I move on a touch that's the high risk. I never know where my mind went.
My crew.
We officially turn the page of the book of WEC Women's category to its final chapter. A single match, a single clash is what separates these two teams and a chance for glory, representing their respective regions at the World Esports Championship 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the grand finals. My name is Safa alongside Basha, and we're very excited to bring you this memorable event, which of course is proudly organized by the IESF and MESF, with ESI as our strategic partner, and generously supported by KBS, Rakan Muda, and Rakan Digital.
And not to forget our official partners, Red One, EQ, Solos merch, as well as to give boost for your Monster Energy. It has to be the Monster Energy drink. And if you want to have a great sound system, or even you want to hear clearly when you are playing games, go for CK Music. And our official chair partner, it has to be Razer.
Indeed, all of these are what has made this entire tournament possible. Make sure to show them some love. And we are back for the final time on day 4 of the World Esports Championship. The grand finals of the women's category for 2025 is officially upon us, and we know of the 2 teams who will be competing.
Yes, they have been going on and on. The circle has already come into a complete section where the fact is, we are back to 2024. Who would have thought this is a deja vu to repeat itself? But the question is, can Cambodia break that history? This is what is meant for WEC 2025. But here's the thing, there's a pot of gold that is waiting at the end of that rainbow, and what they are looking for is whether they can get that $17,500, and it is US dollars we're talking about. But if they didn't manage to get the championship, they'd still be able to actually go home with 10,500. Third place already been given to the team of Egypt. Shukran for being able to actually survive here for the WEC, and you made it to the top 3. But however, you fumble into the hands of Cambodia, who wants to prove themselves they can face off with Indonesia.
Now that we are this deep, this far into the competition, the prize pool is no longer a question. It is about pride. It is about making it all the way to that finish line, to stand in the top spot of the podium, to have the confetti rain down upon you as you lift that trophy. Team Indonesia shall take on Team Cambodia in a best-of-5 series to determine who shall be the World Esports Championship 2025 Women's MLBB category champion. And this is a position we have seen before. In fact, these are the exact same 2 teams that made it to the final stage last year.
And the fact that from the MWI, this is 6 months before we coming into the World Esports Championship, see, the team of Cambodia hasn't actually had a great run for themselves. So this is something within that 6 months were they able to actually change themselves or improve themselves from that defeat that they couldn't even qualify to the playoff of MWI. Again, it was a world stage. It is a global event that already shows that you have the potential. You were able to qualify from your Cambodia qualifier. The problem is, experience-wise, you are fighting with a lot of powerhouse Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and that's the struggle coming in when it comes to MWI. But here on WEC, all eyes is always, we've talked about it, all eyes is on Indonesia team. They have been keeping the clean record. Not even one map can be dropped by this team.
This entire time we've been introducing Team Indonesia as the defending champions of WEC, but that is not even sufficient to do their journey justice. This is a team that has dominated women's MLBB regardless of title, regardless of tournament, regardless of home ground. No matter the challenge, they have overcome it, and they have stood tall as the final bosses of women's MLBB for years upon end. A role that they do not intend on dropping here and now.
Definitely, and Team Indonesia, they want more. Definitely, they are very confident they can actually protect that title, adding even more of the championship under their belts. But Cambodia-wise, we cannot look a blind eyes to them because they have been phenomenal as well here for the WEC, straightening all the records, doing well even though they had to be dropped down from that upper bracket, but they made it through again and again. When it comes to long journey, it is Cambodia who has been pulling through.
And we have to remember that the team that sent them down to the lower bracket in the first place was Team Indonesia during the upper bracket semi-finals. Now, during their last meeting, Team Indonesia took a 2-0 clean sweep. So imagine a lot of people are coming into this thinking it's probably going to just be a repeat once again. But earlier, during their match against Team Egypt, I feel like we saw a new glimpse of Team Cambodia, a fire that has ignited within their soul that wants to chase that goal, chase that title, and take down the team that they could not last year around. Especially since it's going to be different this time. Last year's grand finals was a best of 3, but this time it is going to be a best of 5.
A lot at stakes right now for both of these teams. Cambodia, yes, they struggle because of the upper bracket. They would drop down. A lot of massive questions when it comes to the second round draft-wise because they would push because of the mind games that was done by Indonesia team. Ended up they actually had to pick Tamus for the last pick, which questioned to the point that there was a lot of things that was not be able to sustain in the gameplay. But now, coming up like literally fresh from the win against Egypt, it shows how much improvement that was done by Team Cambodia. It seems that they are much more all-rounded. They know how to actually cover their baseline. The question is, does Indonesia spot out some of the weakness from that game itself? Because so far, I feel like there was a lot of clean fight that was done by Team Cambodia.
Team Cambodia was very directed when they took down Team Egypt. Their drafting was good. They knew exactly what they were attempting to achieve. But Team Egypt didn't really manage to push them into a corner because they tried to stick to the same strategy twice in a row. So because of that, that's actually less information that Team Cambodia ends up giving over to their opponents. Now, you could say that one disadvantage that Cambodia will have to deal with is the fact that they did just come off of playing the lower bracket finals, which means that they have already played some games today, and so stamina might come into question. But in the same way, you could argue that it is an advantage as well, because they have literally had a warm-up right before this. They're coming into this fresh and hot off the heels of their previous victory, and perhaps that could be enough for them to push Indonesia against the wall.
Warm-up is good because the fact is now your whole entire body has already come to the fight scene that you're about to actually fight on, or even actually prepared your mental to into the fight with Indonesia. But here's the thing, we also have a little bit of time to talk about how the teams that was able to actually pull through from the fight itself. But before that, let us give a little bit of highlights, a little bit of posing, show spotlight to our ladies right here. Give it up for Team Indonesia versus Team Cambodia.
This is more than a victory. This is a legacy. Written here on this stage at WEC 25.
Tick tock, this is it! Team that is rising from the lower bracket, trying to prove themselves that they can face off again with the devil that dropped them from last year, 2024. Can they make a difference here for a new history? Give it up for Team Cambodia!
And they shall be facing off against the reigning monarchs of not just WEC, but the entirety of the women's MLBB ecosystem, the undefeated, the unstoppable, the unfazed squad that wants to take it home once again. Team Indonesia!
One is looking for a way to completely shatter the dreams that is actually trying to steal that throne. On the other note, another one wants to change what has happened from last year. Can the other be able to actually make it through and be the newest champion of WEC Women category?
Years worth of history has passed since the last time these two squads have faced off on the same stage. So let's talk about them. Starting off, we've got Team Indonesia on the screen. It is Fumi Echo, Vival, Sunny, Shell, and Vivian.
They have been phenomenal. Not even one map has been dropped. Clean record, clean sweep. Not even a sweat was tear up by this team, and it shows how much potential they are here in the WEC or even in the MLBB scene for the women. Like Stafar has been talking about, they are the final boss that has to be faced up against the one and only Team Cambodia. Can they make it? They have been proving them well after the lower bracket. We got Moshi, Tegami, Ilan, Baube, as well as Uwe.
In their last meeting in the upper bracket semis, Team Cambodia unfortunately faltered to the draft manipulation posed against them by Indonesia. But today, they arrive at the WEC stage with a brand new, renewed spirit and energy. They were able to take down Team Egypt in the lower bracket finals earlier without breaking a sweat. And that means that their energy has been preserved and their strategies prepared for a chance to take down the defending champs.
When it comes to the team of Indonesia, there's so much heroes that needs to be taken note by the team of Cambodia. We talked about how there's so much of the hero pool was actually been let out during the upper bracket. You let go of the Lancelot, you let go of the Hayabusa. Vival can move freely. That freedom of her just running around, damaging every single one of the players of Cambodia, that shows how much of potential that they need to be prioritized. But then again, here's the thing. We got a mother of 10. I've been talking about it. I think we've already talked about Vivian so many times, but the game changer that has been proven very well is the Fumieko with that X-Ball. Last Insanity comes in, bursts down every single player who are setting up for the team fight, and then it gives a lot of that last hit for all of the players of Team Indonesia.
One thing is clear, we've already gotten to witness the hero pools of both these teams so far. We know that they're flexible, we know that they have solutions for a wide variety of situations. And now that it is going to be a best of 5 series, there is going to be a unique advantage of this format where you have a little bit more leeway than usual. It is time to bring out secret strategies that you may have been hiding, time to test certain limits that you may have not been willing to risk on your journey to this peak. Now that you have a chance to face off against the best of the best, it is time to bring it all to bear.
We saw how Tegami very goodly monitoring as well as doing a great haul with that Frederick. Those are the things that maybe Indonesia is also on the lookout. They're watching out and see, hey, Tegami is not that bad as a tank jungler, because we saw how it was when she was at the MWI. Last 6 months ago, she was doing well as a Lancelot, great assassin mobility-wise on her hand. So the question is that something that Indonesia is looking out? But going into our map for the first game, it is going to be Flying Cloud, a map that definitely has the least impact for most of the team fights. But again, it does pulls a good weight when it comes to going into the Land of Dawn, trying to actually clear the wave even much more faster. So those are the things that are very good when it comes to this map of Flying Cloud.
It enables in general a little bit more lane aggression. If you are the one who wins up the matchup, then you want to trade as much as possible to keep forcing your opponent back and ideally get kills so that they can not take advantage of the cloud bringing them back to the lane. Whereas if you do happen to have a bad matchup in the side lane, then this does make up for it somewhat. and it allows you to play a little bit on the safer side without risking losing too many minions. The draft officially will now commence for game number 1. Team Indonesia will have first pick.
Zuchin, Yves, as well as Chichi already been taken out. We know for a fact that this is our top priorities heroes. You don't want to mess around with it. So definitely Indonesia already making a really good move. On the side of Team Cambodia, they took out not just Baxia, Grok as well for the meta heroes as well, and the Lancelot. So definitely still gives an opening for the Hayabusa to be picked if they want to actually pick up. But earlier on, Indonesia just picked out Kimi first of all.
Now, Kimi first pick has not really been seen throughout the WEC
Yeah.
so far, but this is actually one of the safer meta strategies of just opening up with Kimi because she fills a very flexible role. You can tell that Indonesia is already kind of locked in for this one, but going in that direction means that Team Cambodia can respond with a very safe opening of their own with the Lapu Lapu and Gatot.
Yeah, the Gatot as well as Lapu Lapu is definitely one of the great picks coming out from Team Cambodia. It's kind of actually a waste if they didn't actually pick it up early on. But here's the thing, Team Indonesia, are they looking forward to actually get the assassins right now, or they're actually looking forward to get even YSS is quite open right now? It's definitely one of the top picks can be picked up by Team Indonesia. What are the strats they are looking for right now for this first game?
Well, what you pointed out, Hayabusa or Isan Shin will most likely be one of the picks of Indonesia, and it does look to be the Isan Shin. This actually pairs up incredibly well with the Kimi because it opens you up for a lot of different strats. Triple marksman with the Granger, double fighter side lane, which is most likely what they're leaning into. They grab the Esmeralda as well in advance. This has a pretty solid matchup into a lot of EXP laners.
Oh, definitely. Looking on the side of Indonesia, a lot of prioritize from the side of damage is really good. I like the cover up for the team of Indonesia for now. Team Cambodia, they pretty much prioritize on the sustainability. They want to make sure that at least they have that ground for them for the CC. And Granger been picked up. Also a good smooth combination from the side of Gatot Kaca as well as Lapu Lapu. Definitely we saw how Bao Babers, she was amazing with the damage wise, and if they be able to actually guard her very well, she might be able to do some of the late games damage.
Considering how well Bao Bei did earlier with the Granger, and I feel like that is an understatement for anyone who did not watch the previous match. I think it's a really good idea to just go into the Granger again to make use of the momentum that may have been carried over from their previous victory. And since they will be heading into the second ban phase right after this, you can get rid of heroes that might pose a problem. Ruby going to be the most obvious since Isan Shin sets up for double fighter side lane. With CC also already taken out, it forces Indonesia to go into a typical marksman pick instead.
Looking on the side of Team Indonesia, they can definitely take out more of the players from the mid lane as well if they want to actually guard down a little bit more. We see how Lunox has been a great contender as well, a great addition for the side of Team Cambodia. So those are the things also they can actually take out from the proportion.
Team Indonesia gonna be eyeing what to ban for the side of Team Cambodia. Like you pointed out, mid laners are still in the pool, jungler as well. Going to be something Cambodia needs to look for. Jungler pool in general right now is going to be a little bit more limited since Indonesia already has their Yisan Shin. They can start getting rid of some of these options, especially the assassins that Tegami is more known for. Hayabusa is going to be the first. If they want to continue focusing on the jungle picks, then maybe getting rid of the Suyo as well would really narrow down that hero pool.
It's not just the Suyo, they can also drag down Fredrin as well, because we saw how Tegami was with the Fredrin on the last fight with Team Egypt. So that's also one of the spotlight that can be seen. But on the side of Team Cambodia, Cho has already been picked off, and we know for a fact that this is where they want to actually make sure that there's no one to be easy going into the back line with a single lockdown to Granger. So making sure that at least there will be a guard out for Team Cambodia.
Cho is a hero that would pose difficulty for almost any jungler that Cambodia picks up right now, both tanks and assassins. So I think it's perfectly respectable to take this out of the pool entirely to try and keep it to a more standard front to back on both sides. Team Indonesia now has a choice. If they want to continue banning junglers, then there are still assassins like Joy and Suyo in the pool. If they want to ban tanks, then Fredrin would be the most obvious. Alternatively, they may also worry about other fighters that could pop out. Looks like the one they get rid of though is Fanny.
Interesting. I don't think that we've seen Fanny actually bring out from the team of Cambodia, even from them dropping off with Indonesia, or even when they fight off with Turkey as well. So yeah, probably they just want to be a little bit safe. If anything, that maybe Tegami will surprise us off with the assassin jungler. But still, that kind of opens a lot of pool as well for Tegami. Still be able to fight off with Fredrin if she wants to go in again with the success that she already pulls in from the fight they had with Jeep. But again, that's going to be the prioritize, or they're just gonna hold up a little bit for that assassin, or they want to actually go for the mid lane instead.
This should be the jungle pickup, yep. The Fredrin going to get locked in. I think it's very smart of Team Cambodia to leave their mid laner for last, because they don't have a lot of jungle options left anyway, so they may as well lock in the Fredrin since it doesn't get countered by all that much anymore compared to a mid laner where if they showed like Farsa, for example, you could still go into a Yuzong on the side of Indonesia and really mess with that gameplay. So Cambodia is going to keep that on the down low. Indonesia still have the option to go for double fighter side lane, but the typical gold lane fighters are already taken out besides Xborg. I get the feeling they'll be looking at that, and then they'll still be looking for a roamer as well.
Let's see if that's going to be the case though. We did see Yuzong has already been picked out earlier on by Indonesia from the past days, but it's going to be Kalea to be paired up with Sun. Sun been picked up by Indonesia?
Team Indonesia up to a little bit of monkey business right now. Sun making his debut in the WEC stage on Game 1 of the Grand Finals is very interesting. Now, during the recent MPLM, this is actually a gold lane pickup that was shown and oftentimes banned because it does provide good split pushing pressure, and he surprisingly does a good amount of damage to tankier front lines as well. It's actually not a bad time for this hero to show up.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see if Indonesia will also portray a little bit of surprise element here for our movement category. But for Team Cambodia, not much of mid lane they can actually pick up here. But again, there's still Lunox to be opened up. But no, they picked up Zetian instead. And I think this is also one of the debut here. No, not yet. This could be a debut at the main stage because we did not see any fights of Zetian on the main stage. So definitely this is a debut to be seen from Team Cambodia putting out that Zetian at the mid lane. Now, looking on the draft-wise, Darfa, what are your thoughts?
This is interesting. Zetian is not a bad last pick because it's going to be able to provide vision to match the Yi Sun Shin on the opposite side. And in that way, they also have a mechanic for maybe catching the Sun if he's trying to do cheeky split pushing. But in exchange, you lose out on a lot of the typical burst that you would have with a hero like Farsa or Eve instead. So in exchange on that, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Bao Bei to perform this time around. It's going to be a Granger versus Sun in the gold lane. Interesting matchup. Don't get to see that very often. And it is going to be Petrify as well. So Bao Bei has to be quite careful here.
Bao Bei definitely needs to be aware of the whole surrounding, especially again, we talked about how when it comes to Egypt just now, they didn't actually create a lot of the safe gap between them with Team Cambodia. So this is something that Cambodia also needs to adapt as well, fighting off with Team Indonesia. Very interesting draft indeed from both sides, but I think when it comes to the honest straightforward we do have from Team Cambodia, the question is when Indonesia-wise, a lot of the escape mobility-wise is on their side. So those are the crucial things that Team Cambodia has to be aware of. I think pretty much when it comes to the execution is what is crucial right now between the two teams.
And looking at the case, if we dive into the more specifics, level 1 mid lane is going to be in favor of Team Indonesia. Kalea Kimi will definitely outtrade Zetian Gatot, so Cambodia needs to avoid going too aggressive there to avoid giving Sini too early of a kill. Once we come around the first turtle timing, first to second turtle, Cambodia will have the advantage because they are just generally more sustainable, more bulky, and they have good artillery fire. But once we get into the later stages of the game, when we are starting to look at full item builds from most of the cores, Indonesia will have the natural lead because they have split push pressure, they have more heroes that are able to output consistent DPS, and that means Cambodia cannot afford for this to last too long unless they can guarantee that Bao Bei is snowballing.
Let's see if Team Cambodia can control the movement like they did before compared to how Indonesia is. They're gonna go all-out aggression earlier on, and this is what they want to do, to put on so much tension to a point that Cambodia cannot skip any beat. So far right now, again, the tensions is building by both of these teams from the draft itself. I know everybody's waiting. We are also waiting right now, just giving even more suspense for both of us as well as here in the stage of WEC.
This is going to be game one of the grand finals after all. While it may not matter too much in the grand scheme of things, since it is going to be the first of 3 wins, being able to set yourself up with that foundation is going to be crucial. And if Cambodia can actually put a point on the board, that is going to do wonders for their morale, considering that not a single other team thus far has been able to secure even a single game from Team Indonesia.
Oh, this is tough. And I don't think that we've ever seen flying clouds in the maps of Team Indonesia as well. Even though, yeah, we talked about how it's not really that impactful when it comes to most of the maps that are in the Land of Dawn. So it really doesn't matter because we always see that they are performing very well in the rest of the 3 maps itself, whether or not it is dangerous grass, expanding rivers, or even on the side of where we see the teams that did fight at the flying clouds, they do not really have much of the impact of using that flying cloud for their teleportation, flying into the lane phase as well. So again, this is pretty much all up to these 2 teams, whether or not they can actually execute properly, get their guards up, find a way for them to actually just hold up the positioning. And even so, like you talked about how Cambodia-wise, earlier games definitely not gonna be on their side, especially for the burst-wise of Team Cambodia. If Bao Bei can hold her own lane just finely, they might be able to actually pull through, but I don't think Indonesia will allow that.
Yeah, Team Indonesia has already proven that they are capable of adapting on the fly. They have really good strategies, and the fact that they have saved this sun all the way until the grand finals itself is a very intimidating feeling. Cambodia have also revealed this Zetian, which can help deal with split pushes and match up to the Yi Sun-shin, so it looks like they are prepared somewhat for these fringe cases. Now, just to give a little bit of information for the peeps who are watching at home, we are fixing a small technical issue right now on the stage, so hopefully you guys will be patient with us for a little bit. Our marshals are hard at work making sure that everything is a-okay to ensure that everything is going to be fine for this grand finals.
I mean, come on, this is the serious deal, man. This is the grand finals, the redemption, revenge after revenge between these 2 teams. Who will make a new history, or who will keep their championship title under their belt? Give it up to the World Esports Championship 2025 Grand Final Women, Indonesia versus Cambodia!
A return to history from 2024, where both these teams have met up once before. Who will be able to take game number 1 this time around? And thank you very much to our marshals for their hard work, making sure that we are able to jump into the Land of Dawn here. So, as we've already pointed out, mid lane is going to be important here because Team Indonesia has the natural advantage with the Kimi Kalea. Cambodia needs to play safe around this, but also ensure that they're not going to be able to easily rotate and affect the other side lanes.
Let's see. So far right now, they are doing some of the rotation to invade all of the rotation that was done. And even I feel like there is some sort of the rotation-wise coming from Team Indonesia to move around and setting things up for the turtle pit. So this is where the fine line that I feel like Team Indonesia, they're just trying to play it a little bit faster compared to Cambodia.
The Sun versus Granger matchup is going to be an interesting one. Sun is a fighter and he will naturally have a little bit more bulk and damage early on in comparison, which means that if Shell wants to go for a dive, Bao Bei will need to be careful. But Granger is also one of the Hold On.
Hold On comes in, ooh, able to actually pull through with the pulse. But at the same time, Team Cambodia, a little bit ambitious right there.
Now back to what I was saying, Granger is one of the few marksman heroes that actually clears Sun clones very quickly. So if Bao Bei plays this safe and keeps getting those, then that's actually a lot of extra farm going to the goal lane of Cambodia.
Yeah, definitely gonna close out with his right traction. Pulse comes through, able to take down the turtle first of all from Cambodia. But at the same time, Trace comes in. Moshi takes down Vivol for the first blood. But at the same time, the double kill in the hands of Moshi with Fumieko shut
opening there from Team Cambodia, and that's exactly what I was talking about before as well. Around the timing of the first to second turtle, Team Cambodia has the advantage because of the way their composition works, especially Tegami on this Fredrin, who was able to just stand in front and absorb all the damage to secure the retribution timing and then punish Vival for trying to go for that front line instead. The Team Cambodia already drawing first blood and even picking up a second for a comfortable 1k goal lead against Team Indonesia.
Seems like Moshi trying so hard to make sure that she can be able to actually push a little bit off Fumieko. But here's the thing, Fumieko also doesn't have to worry that much, still have a lot of sustained ability in the hands. So this is just still a very, very par fight between those two. The question is, right now, with 50 seconds on the clock for the second turtle, Team Indonesia, can they actually revamp themselves from the mistake they made? Here coming along, Tegami pushing on to Sine.
Like they're not going to try and force that out. Fumieko also actually having a bit of a difficult time against Moshi. Those two initial kills both went to the Lapu Lapu, so that means the Moshi is going to have a slight EXP lead against the Esmeralda in lane. And that does make quite a big difference here. It allows her to trade a lot more easily.
I think pretty much I thought that Indonesia was going to actually punish or even try to pressure Team Cambodia, but somehow Cambodia looking even more aggressive earlier on, and I think because of the fact that they have that ability or even the advantage of their damage from the early games, and that's why they're just taking advantage of it. But here on out, Team Indonesia is going to get some place for the top lane itself freely, while the team of Cambodia is quite setting up themselves at the turtle pit, and this is like a threat for themselves. They're not gonna contest it off, so a win for both sides of Indonesia as well as Cambodia. But here on out, Fumieko going to actually go in all out for a fight, gonna able to survive those equations. But now comes in the team of Cambodia. Vival able to get that turret, but Fumieko is going to be sacrificed by Tegami. Pressure calls come through. Auto Chakras also pull through, but unfortunately, Tsunami Slam tried to steal away by Vivian, but instead it doesn't have any follow-up, so it's gonna be a weak win for Cambodia.
Really smart idea from Team Indonesia to go for the split push. They're well aware that they cannot match up in the direct 5v5 right now, so they're not even gonna bother around the turtle. But they may have stayed a little bit too long. They should have backed off after taking the entire gold shield, because Team Cambodia was able to collapse in. And while they're not able to get the shield themselves, they might be able to threaten the tower.
Goes in for the dive right here. Wavebreaker comes through, just try to evade it out, but goes in the back line. Right there, immediately Vivian in trouble. AOD comes in, doesn't catch up on Baobei. Shuts down Vivian.
Beautiful dive there from Moshi. This Lapu Lapu being an MVP for Cambodia right now, but looks like Shell is no slouch either, taking advantage of Cambodia showing up top to steal away the purple buff. Baobei has swapped lanes as well. This means that the Sun is going to be able to catch up a bit in farm.
On the side of Team Cambodia, they do win most of the fight itself, and somehow Team Indonesia, they're taking their stacks back. They're trying to slow things down, find a way for them to win just those micro gaming, micro things that is crucial for their own.
Now, at this point in the game, we've already mentioned Team Cambodia is going to naturally have an advantage due to the nature of their draft. They've been able to build up a strong 2k lead. If they can continue building this snowball, and especially funneling kills into Baobei, they should be able to quite cleanly end the game around the 16-minute mark. They cannot afford to allow it last too much longer than that, or lose out on this advantage from this point onwards, because Team Indonesia has a very strong scaling composition, and they have a lot of macro pressure as well compared to Cambodia, which largely will need to stay together for fights.
And look at that, this is going to be the third turtle dance coming through. Team Indonesia is overlooking, not going to actually be able to contest it out, but now they're going to push it all the way to fight. Team Indonesia had to pull away. Does actually go stun for the side of the Fury of the Phoenix, but then it's still Team Cambodia to get that win.
Team Indonesia playing it slowly now. They're aware they can't directly fight, though it looks like Cambodia is still gonna try and force them back.
They are going in for the diving composition. Doesn't get anyone though, but Team Indonesia is going to actually be pulled back so much by Team Cambodia. Goes in for the steal. Vivian doesn't make Eat it alive. Baobei takes it down, and even Cine could not do anything for that.
Really well done there. Tegami tanking the tower. Unfortunately, looks like Fumieko gonna be able to find Elan on the retreat. Now he's trying to join the fight.
Fumieko, ooh, straight pushing on, able to take down her for the trace, but as well, Vival, that's not going to be a good move. Bound to shock her just to give a little bit of skirmish, but still going to be another win for Team Cambodia.
I'm really liking the positioning I'm seeing right now from Team Cambodia. Ue literally walking in front to use her body to block the damage onto her low health jungler, keeping Tegami alive and around, continue creating pressure. Team Cambodia have been doing it right so far. But the gold lead is still fairly narrow because Team Indonesia has shifted into farming mode. They are willing to sacrifice bodies in exchange for map space because they know that Team Cambodia has to stay largely together. 8 minutes in, First Lord's gonna be coming up in a little while. The fight around this objective is going to be a crucial one for determining how the next couple minutes go.
Let's see, so far, Ue trying to actually catch Cine. They keep on pushing Indonesia's position, and this is where it's so aggressive to the side of Team Indonesia that Cambodia is controlling every movement so far. Even the clearing wave for the midwise, yes, they did lose the level of #1, but yet Team Cambodia is doing well. Some of the invasive shots coming in from Shell will not be spotted out by Moshi whatsoever, but they are going in for 1v1. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good move. That's just going to be a little bit of poking from Indonesia.
A little bit of poking indeed. Shell is actually going to start becoming quite annoying as time goes on because she has been allowed to free farm several different parts of the map at this point. There is no level difference between her and Baobei, who is currently 3-0 on this Granger. The Team Cambodia, once they start taking this First Lord, is going to need to up the pressure. Whereas Team Indonesia wants to generally slow down the state of the game and keep scattering their opponents. They want to make them doubt their decision making.
Let's see, Lord Dance is coming in, just a little bit of teasing from side of Cambodia. Vivian and Cine trying to find a way for them to set things up, even though we know Fumieko is going to join in just in time. Just half lifeline at Viva, right at behind side. Vivian comes through, they will be able to steal. Baobei takes down Vivian first of all with Treasure Pulse as well. Fumieko trying to survive, will not be able to do so with double kill in the hands of Baobei. This Lord will be in the hands of Team Cambodia. Gets in the hands of Tegami. Cine doing all the best here. That will still Moshi by Vival, but it's not going to be enough as this is already a win in the hands of Cambodia.
Definitely still a win so far, but Ue has to be careful. Oh, picks off Cine with the chase. So now he's probably going to end up dying to the sun here. Shell is going to be picking up her first kill of the game, and that gives her the Great Dragon Spear as well. I like the way Cambodia's positioning. They are specifically just grouping all together because they know that the sun can come from a flank. Shell actually did a very good job of identifying Baobei in the midst of everything, but was just a little bit short of getting the kill on the Granger. And because of that, Cambodia still does come out on top from that trade. But the longer this game goes, the more difficult it is going to be for them. They can't allow this to last too much longer. But Shell is going to make it do exactly that. This is one of the strengths of the Sun. Lord? What Lord?
Exactly. This is what the fighter is all about. Definitely will be able to take it off. But Cine shuts down Elan immediately. Even with the wave breaker able to actually pass through. But is it going to be enough though? Team Cambodia. Baobei takes down. Cine goes in for the double kill with Vival. Now one more. Vivian managed to break through with the wave breaker. But still, this is going to be a turret. Comes into the hands of Cambodia. And they had to back off because Cambodia is getting into it.
This is the time for Cambodia to just get as much damage on the map done as possible. Baobei has hit a rolling pitch right now on this Granger. 7-0. That is easily 5 Skypiercer stacks at least. And you can see how much damage it was doing to the squishier targets. Cambodia needs to continue doing this. Up the ante. Yup, 60 stacks right there. That is a lot of damage to worry about. And we know Indonesia is generally going to be fighting 4v5 because Shell is on a mission.
Shell is definitely trying to at least do a little bit of the split push, but again, it's not going to be enough though. All this solo fight that is done by her still have a lot of things that needs to be catch up because Team Cambodia, as one, they will be able to actually just trample one after another of Team Indonesia. So Team Indonesia needs to find a way how they want to actually control every single damage that was done by Baobei itself. But coming in right now, Wavebreaker, Vivian! Just just a little bit slow, but she will be able to survive it out, only to be taken out by Baobei. Yue comes in with City to be shut down. Oh no, Baobei been caught out by Fumieko instead. And now Cambodia trying to do a little bit of damage, but Elon with Shell shutting her down immediately. This is a comeback comes through from Indonesia team.
They're gonna have to make up for their losses right there. They're gonna try and chase down Shell, but one of the annoying things about Sun is it's so difficult to catch. Shell escaping from 3 members all by her lonesome, and while this is happening, Indonesia is already spreading their influence to the other parts of the map. The moment that Baobei went down once, Team Cambodia's entire lineup falls apart.
Oh, Team Indonesia finally get their feet on the ground, able to actually break that back line, and this is what is needed for them to return all of the fight that was done by Team Cambodia. Now, looking on the lot that is coming through already, this is where how they want to actually set things up first. Somehow, Team Cambodia doesn't spot out Shell in the midst of the grass though, so this could be a very, very scary situation if they don't realize it.
I think if that was any ordinary player, they would have 100% tried jumping on Baobei, but instead Cambodia's jumping.
AOG comes in. Oh, Sini managed to back away, but at the same time here, Tegami try to pull in with the Vivian side, but it's going to be Baobei to shut down Sini with that Death Sonata. But at the same time right here, it's going to be Shell. Shell spotted out, goes in for the wave breaker, still away Baobei right instant. Revival shutting down Israel, and this is where the fine line at Cambodia falls, crumble in the hands of Indonesia. Bushi immediately double kill in the hands of Shell with the side of Tegami as well as Uwe, committing every single move, leaving only one player. Can they actually go for the team wipeout? It seems that Tegami doesn't want to actually contest, but no! Tegami comes back for the double kill!
Tegami with the slam right in the face of Team Indonesia, holding it together for Team Cambodia. Regardless of the flashiness of that play though, this is now a disaster for their side. Baobei has fallen again, they weren't able to defend her, and Tegami's not going to be able to walk off to contest his lord.
Let's see, can they actually do it though? Somehow, it's not going to be easy, but Vibal able to get the Lord in the hands of Indonesia. So it is risky, but again, Cambodia, even though they could not make that steal, this is going to be their own reset. They need it so that they can set things up for the defense.
We are undoubtedly seeing a match worthy of being grand finals material right now. Team Cambodia, their entire lead has been taken out. The goal difference now is minuscule. Baobei has been able to complete a Wind of Nature. That's going to be a very important item for this Granger if she wants to continue playing aggressively, since it will buy her precious seconds against the dive of this Sun. But Indonesia has the Lord on their side. They've been split pushing the map the entire time, so there's only 2 external towers remaining. And it's already past the point where holy defense would still be an issue. Team Cambodia, their chance of turning this around is starting to slim due to how much scaling Indonesia has built into their draft.
Even then, Fumieko try to step a little bit closer to Team Cambodia. It's not going to do much as they are pushing in. Fashion Pulse comes through, doesn't actually get anyone though, but in the end, this turret is going to be the opening comes through. Monteshaka comes in, no one actually gets into it, so that's going to be Team Cambodia just setting things off for the Lord itself. Somehow, this is going to be easy for turret bottom to be shut down easily. All of the waves are being started out, but AOG doesn't catch anyone. So Team Cambodia so far, the only thing that they are mattering right now is just to defend, not to overextend.
Not a bad defense though. They do give up 1 inhibitor, but that is probably the best case scenario for Team Cambodia in this situation. We are 16 minutes in. This is around the time where I said Team Cambodia needed to try to end the game, because any longer than this and the scaling from Indonesia might become too difficult to handle since they have multiple late game core heroes. It is still possible, but all of it rides on Baobei, and unfortunately 2 deaths in a row means that she's not going to have a lot of Sky Piercer stacks left over. She needs to build those back up to be the artillery threat that she was earlier in the game.
Let's see if Team Cambodia can guard out Baobei before being picked off by Team Indonesia. So far, when it comes to actually executing, Indonesia has been perfectly fighting. Even though with Tegami able to actually back things up with that double kill, it's still not going to be enough for Team Cambodia to catch up with Indonesia's gap, whereby they are already leading up and now trying to go in for a fight with the Fallen Star Moon, but somehow does not grab anyone in the mid. So far, Team Cambodia having a lot of structure, able to actually create some safe space between them.
I want to see some adjustment here from Team Cambodia, especially from Bao Bei. She has been able to use the early game snowball. She has to go for very aggressive pickoffs, but she cannot afford to do that anymore. Even if you see a very juicy kill right in front of you, you need to second chance it. If you are in this Granger's position, you need to stay protected. It doesn't matter if you miss out on kills. You need to ensure you stay alive.
Oh, but Shell says, no, you're not going to be able to stay alive, but they do have the chance for Yue to back things up. Shell still managed to survive it out, but no, goes away with the clone. That's how powerful it is, but that is going to be a zoning for them. Here, right here, Fivel able to take down Moshi. Right here, at the moment right now, they are going in for a fight, but no, they are pushing into Cambodia just to shoo them away as they are going to focus for the lot to be taken by Vival. In the moment right now, Fumieko try to actually scare away to the side of Team Cambodia. Bao Bei barely scraping alive by Yue. Immortality right in the hands, but they're not going to deny it because Vival will shut him down for good.
It's a 3v5 defense situation now. The Lord is still very far away, but Indonesia might just be able to muscle their way in. Bao Bei is the only one that's going to be able to do notable damage, but the minions are so tanky right now that it's even taking her a while to clear them up. Slowly but surely, the waves are sinking in, and Ue is not going to be available for this base defense.
Last turret for them to just bear open this space. And the side of Cine takes him down. Both go in for the waves of breaker. Tegami barely surviving, goes for the Imperial Wrap, but does manage to go for the defense-wise. So Team Indonesia still had to move away, but Fivel takes down Moshi immediately. Lord coming in. It's a great defense mechanism come through for the side of Cambodia. They managed to actually shoo away the side of Indonesia, but is it going to be enough though? Fumieko, Traction Pulse doesn't get anyone just yet. So far, Cambodia is desperate, but at least their desperation can still hold out the situation.
Really good composure there from Team Cambodia. Considering the odds, it would not have been difficult for Indonesia to just muscle their way in with that Lord. But since Bao Bei was able to keep herself alive, it meant that they couldn't just walk in without risking having themselves wiped off the map. Even without the Gatot Kacha in that fight, Cambodia keeps themselves in game number 1. But now their base is going to be empty, and the scaling is still ramping up for their opponent.
So far, we are seeing they have been taking care of Bao Bei, denying anyone from the team of Indonesia to steal her. And this is where the position that we are asking from them. But the thing is, not much of Bao Bei will be able to stack things up. Michelle, again, try to tease a little bit of Bao Bei. This is where the fine line, they just want to bait her out. And Team Indonesia knows that if only Cambodia eat up those bait, they might be able to set things good.
This is the part of the game now where it is very annoying to deal with this monkey. And Shell is well aware of it. She is constantly going to be a nuisance, poke clones out, get vision, find catches if necessary, and exert consistent macro pressure that is not going to allow Team Cambodia to group together. We can see that Elan is basically forced on housekeeping duty permanently now because Fumieko as well is going to be able to split push the map on the other side.
The fact that right now they are one man less when it comes to the team fight, they are required because 24 seconds, Lord is about to appear. And knowing for a fact that Indonesia, if they can actually get that Lord, it could be a closure already for the first round of the match.
This is a very difficult decision to make in the position of Team Cambodia. They need to basically send their entire team if they want to have a solid chance of contesting the Lord. But there is always the possibility of a backdoor, and Elan is not going to be able to defend against Shell or Fumieko by herself, which means you need at least 2 people staying in base, keeping the waves in check. But there is no way they can contest Lord with 3. So Cambodia might be forced to give this up.
But Wave Breaker as well as Tsunami Slam stealing away Moshi. Moshi barely surviving that, but at the same time, Tegami comes in for a fight. Doesn't manage to actually pull through with a Pizzo Rock. Now coming in with the Traction Pulse. Moving straight forward to the side of Cambodia. They will be able to take down Bao Bei first of all. Now going in all out to Ue. Ue barely alive. Will be shut down by Vival. Now Tegami is going to be the next victim. Barely surviving with all the base. And City shuts them down for good. Elon, the housekeeper, will be also terminated. Moshi tries to survive it, but no! Moshi barely survived that mountain shocker, but the crystal is already in the hands of Indonesia for the first win.
In a very sneaky way, Team Indonesia finds their way into the base of their opponent and turns the entire game around on its head. Team Cambodia were controlling the entirety of the early to mid game, but the entire concept of this draft is to deny that in the first place. That late game, that sun constantly being a nuisance, and the speed at which that crystal melted, this is gonna need to be respected going forward.
Can I see myself? It's a little bit dark in here. I can't see myself because I was just blinded by the success of Indonesia for the first round. Thank you so much for the FM. Really appreciate Marshall. Yeah, just a little bit late, but it's okay. We will have the light here for ourselves. But congratulations again for Team Indonesia for a beautiful win of the first round. We thought that Cambodia had it in the bag. They are really good for the draft. They really managed to actually pressurize Team Indonesia from the start. But somehow, in the midst of it all, once they actually give up or even allow Baobei to be shut down, this is where the fine line that Team Cambodia suddenly falter a little bit.
It's very interesting to see what Team Indonesia has done here, because they have picked a lineup that doesn't really classically work in team fight situations. They've actually put themselves in a direct disadvantage when it comes down to contesting objectives. And that's why I said, and it was proven, that Team Cambodia would have the direct advantage when it came to the first, second turtle timings. But I also said that they could not afford to lose their lead. They could not afford to let the game last too long, because the scaling kicks in, the sun becomes way too annoying to handle, and that, unfortunately for the side of Team Cambodia, became true.
I think pretty much it was close enough for them to actually just get that team wipe out early on, but because of how Moshi was, we do have to give it credit for her, right? Because how Moshi was able to survive all of the fights, all of the attacks that was done by Team Indonesia shows how much that they want to actually control. But here's the thing, no matter how much you want to control the movement of the side of Team Indonesia, they did manage to actually just steal away that crystal because there was not much of a defense. So going back into 21 minutes 53 seconds, this is just the first round, and we are seeing a really good fight by both of these two girls team with 16-17 kills. There's not really a big gap between them, because started out really good for Team Cambodia. It's just sometimes when it comes to the execution as well as the moment where they actually hesitate and give so much time for Team Indonesia, this is where Indonesia just comes back alive.
Indonesia was well aware that this lineup might have difficulty in the mid-game and were willing to throw bodies at their opponents, sacrificing people as resources if necessary to get space on the map and to pressure with the use of this Esmeralda and Sun. With how long this game went, most of the players in this game were already full build, with many of them even selling out their shoes in order to remain relevant. But there are risks to both sides. For the side of Indonesia, if the game ends too early, then you never really get to execute on the strategy. And for the side of Cambodia, they are basically playing hyper carry. Baobei is the only source of reliable, consistent damage, since Zetian is more of a support mid laner as well, which means that once the Granger is taken out of the fight, doesn't matter how tanky the rest of you are, Indonesia can slowly whittle you down.
Somehow we are seeing a lot of times that Fumi Eiko as the tanker to be surviving with 197,500 Eiko. Sorry, her name is Fumi Eiko, but it's 197,580,000 damage taken. And this is where the fine line that we say, when it comes to the frontline team Indonesia, they can cover a really good ground. Just making sure that nobody steps behind them, making sure that nobody touches their goal laner, or even Cine, who actually gives a lot of damage from backline. It shows how much potential they can actually cover things up. Now going into the key play, it has to be Shell as the goal hunter. Again, beautiful lucky number from the side of GBM 777. The GOAT as with 100,471 will be in the hands of Cine. Fumieko as the tanker, again as the powerful domination of making sure that they will be able to secure all the safety net for the team of Indonesia. But Tegami, nonetheless, she was doing well. She was amazing with that Fredrin as with 11 total assists.
We've seen a lot of different teams actually attempt this sort of skirmish style draft throughout WEC. But I think this is the most successful execution of it. Being willing to take risks, to trade resources, which may very well be your lives themselves, to create map pressure, and thereby distracting both sides so that you're able to attack from different angles. Under normal circumstances, you would never be able to break through the front line to get to this Granger, but because you have so much map pressure, you can come from anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Started out really good for Team Cambodia. Root pressure for the side of the early games itself because they know they can actually control, they can be able to actually maneuver every single situation. Even the diving composition that was done by Baube was very fruitful. But when it comes to the team of Indonesia, they know how to pace themselves. They know when to strike back. And when it comes to Shell, she just know that it is going to not be easy for Team Cambodia to catch her as she just throw all her clones. She can just zip out of nowhere, and she even barely surviving that three players was just chasing after her, and with her body just surviving it out shows how much it's slippery to catch her off guard.
I feel like if there's one thing that Cambodia may have been able to do better, it was better utilizing the vision that was provided by the Zetian ultimate. It was popped oftentimes in fights, but I think it was used more as a stun and damage mechanic rather than making use of the information it would get. In the earlier fight we've seen, it was popped. They could have actually seen that Shell was coming from the bot lane, but didn't really register that information, instead focusing on the fight in front of them. These lapses in judgment make it so that they escape in the wrong directions, running into places where your opponent is going to be able to meet up with you instead, and eventually losing out on people that needed to stay alive. Indonesia were able to come out on top this time. But I do think we still have to give props. Team Cambodia looks to be in a very solid fighting form, and if not for the interactions of this draft, this could have been a lot closer.
Agree, definitely. And the fact that Team Cambodia, I think pretty much they had a really solid draft-wise. It's just pretty much, again, they didn't actually have that call-out that is properly wisely used into the gameplay that is making a really good composure for Team Indonesia just topple them. So this is going to be a second round of the match, and we've talked about how this is going to be the best of 5, so there's still a lot ground that they can be covering in. They can be able to actually adapt themselves or even fix back for the second round.
There's definitely still time for Team Cambodia to figure things out and dust themselves off. While I do like the idea that they went with in game number 1, nowadays in this meta it is very risky and oftentimes not worth it to be running compositions where all of your damage is on one person. Because we saw what happens. If that person dies, then you suddenly can't do anything, even if you still have full HP. So you gotta make sure you at least have a little bit more different sources of DPS. Now, I don't really know if you're gonna be able to rationalize banning Sun, because maybe in the second phase, but that is one ban taken away from other more meta heroes.
Nah, I don't think so, because that Sun was just pretty much like we talked about. We wanted surprise element. Indonesia is serving it on a dish, and we are just eating up very deliciously. So when the question is now coming along to the side of how much that we have already seen banned out, Eve was already taken out very quickly, even Grok as well as Baxia. So the question is now coming into the Team Cambodia, what else they have under their sleeve? That's the question is, can they actually also pull out a little bit of surprise element? Because somehow they kind of actually lean to that Fredrin too much, to a point that I think Indonesia has already spotted out the weakness.
I don't think it's actually too big of an issue to keep leaning on the Fredrin, because so far Tegami has been doing a good job of it, and it allows them to build up early game control. But you gotta make sure the rest of your draft is able to adapt to it properly. Front to back is great, Granger works well with Fredrin, but you might have needed something else. I understand the Zetian at the end, because the utility the hero provides is actually quite solid for this game, but you needed a little bit more damage to be coming from somewhere.
I mean, we talked about how Lunox was actually quite open for them to pick up. I'm not sure why they actually picked up Zetian. I know that when it comes to the skill set, yeah, you can actually open up the map itself with the Fury of the Phoenix, and I think that's kind of like a counter for the side of the Mountain Shocker that is in the hands of Yi Sun-shin that was taken out by Team Indonesia. But again, how much have you actually opened up the map with that Fury of the Phoenix? That's supposed to be the one thing that the ulti give you. They provide you a lot of the opening of the map itself. You can actually know location of your enemies, and it can actually set you up for any fights that you are intended to.
It is a very difficult thing to execute on though, because they were oftentimes using it for team fighting, and that's fine, but it has greater value than that if they were able to keep track of where the enemies were that weren't part of the team fight. It might have been a little bit better, but at the same time, they're gonna need to position based on the most immediate needs of the team fight itself. So maybe it might just be better to go for a hero that bursts and doesn't make the fight last as long. This is one of those situations where there's no objectively correct change that could have been made, and we can tell that these two teams are actually fighting at pretty similar levels, but Team Indonesia knew what they were doing with this one.
Definitely, and the fact that right now we're moving into the second round of our grand final. Team Indonesia, again, haven't been dropped just yet by anyone. Team Cambodia, they're looking for a way so that they can actually change up what has happened from last year. Redemptions wise, so far we are seeing such vast improvement from Team Cambodia because they didn't actually have a really good shot from last year. They also had a really rough spot as well from last July as well. So this is a really good redemption, a great pedestal to be put on by Team Cambodia. But here's the thing, when it comes to Grand Final, this is your last final boss, and if you do not step up immediately, it might be a very struggle situation for you.
I do think that they've already stepped up in a pretty notable way though, and we don't even need to look at a few months ago to tell that. We can compare it to their previous meeting with Team Indonesia in the upper bracket semis, where during that time, they were basically one-sidedly stomped by Team Indonesia because they oftentimes fell for simple tricks in draft manipulation. I don't think that happened this time around. Team Indonesia actually had to pull out something a bit more surprising rather than going for the standard. And I think that is proof already that Team Cambodia is looking better than before, but the gap between them still seems to be fairly wide.
Somehow I feel like because of the fact that there's a lot of heroes that's already been taken out from the portion, it kind of actually limits what Team Cambodia can do. Even though, yeah, we do agree that they have been showing a lot of the improvement, but again, the adaptability that has been seen by Team Indonesia is just on another level. They are the powerhouse, and they have been showing us that they can flex whatever heroes. To them, it's just another day at the rank side.
It is just another day for Team Indonesia here. Even when the competition started, I think a lot of us were already aware that they stood heads and shoulders above many of the other regions. Team Cambodia has been able to do a good job of catching up so far, but it looks like they're still going to have to dig deeper still if they want to truly put up a challenge. Their mid-game was solid, but was that truly not within the calculations of their opponents?
Let's see. So far right now, we are waiting for the second round to get started. Hopefully they are very ready to be prepared themselves because again, we talked about how Team Cambodia is just freshly able to win against Team Egypt, and yes, we do agree that there are some of the potential of the warm-up can actually boost up Team Cambodia, but at the same time there is also a con stuff whereby sometimes when you actually had so much of your energy been focused in one game or even one series, when you move into the second series, your mind starts to go a little bit blank, or maybe it kind of actually give a little bit of the tension for your own mental state as well as stamina. Do you
That
agree
is
on
true.
Yeah,
This
right?
is definitely around the point where Team Cambodia's mentality is going to truly be tested, because not only are they coming off of a lower bracket final, the strategy that worked well for them before, that they were actually leading and controlling the game with, was just very swiftly defeated by Team Indonesia. Do they have the mentality needed to reset after that one? Can they pick themselves up considering the previous fatigue and considering that they weren't able to convert their initial success in Game 1 to a victory?
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully they are doing well. Looking at the side of the stage right now, we do see like Cambodia still having a really good, strong feeling as well as happiness. Side it out right there, smiling at their faces. So definitely they are in a really good state. So I'm liking that. Hopefully that will be able to boost up their morals as well as making sure that they are not even drowned with all the motion of feeling left, or not to say like left out, or more to say like they kind of feel demoral because of the first loss. Just first loss, relax, like we talked about, this is best of 5. You can still be able to just keep up the pace or probably just step up right after this and learn from those mistakes. But coming along for our second map of our grand final is going to be Flying Clouds again.
Interesting. Up until now, Team Indonesia has had a very high concentration of expanding river. And this time around, looks like the clouds are the ones coming in to say hi. Now, again, this is a map that doesn't have all that much impact. I don't really think we got to see much of it in game one either.
I mean, did we see? Okay, maybe when it comes to the base was actually bare open. We did see the moment when Elan was doing the housekeeping. Yeah, the rest of the players were just able to respond. They come back and help her out, try to actually ease out the burden of her trying to clear out the minions, all the waves that was pushing to their baseline. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Come on, give me more maps. I don't want Flying Clouds. I am flying, but I'm not flying to the sky right now. So let's take a look on the draft fight right here between the two teams of Indonesia versus Cambodia. On the side of the banning, still the same. They are actually picking off Jushin, Yves, as well as Chi Chi. On the side of Cambodia, they are taking off not just Baxia and Grog, as well as Lancelot. So pretty much just the same old default that we saw previously.
Thought Katja going to be locked in this time since Grok was banned out instead. So these are the two roamers that have high success rates overall. Team Cambodia still keeping it pretty standard. Lapu Lapu first with the Kimmy to keep their draft as open as possible. Unfortunately, compared to before, I feel like it might be a bit risky to do it this time around, since Gatot has already shown himself. At the very least, they won't have an Eve to worry about.
Let's see. Okay, definitely Cambodia is just playing off with comfortness right now because we've seen how it was when it comes to toning things down, trying to actually guard out the situation with the Thresh and Pulse, and then you also have the Bravest Fighter. So yeah, when it comes to them trying to control all the team fights, they're still there. But Indonesia-wise, they can actually have an opening for them to pick up is Merida as well as Hayabusa. So yeah, previously Hayabusa was denied immediately, so now they're taking a very, very direct path, or even going in straight to just take the assassin early on.
We already know that Vival plays a pretty mean Hayabusa. Both these junglers are quite known for the ability to perform on assassins. Cambodia probably needs to respond with their jungler now. Yisun Jin going to be the next best pick, but Brethren still going to be the pick of choice. They're sticking with the tank jungle.
Again, this is what I'm saying. They are playing with a comfort. Not much of a change, not much of an adaptability, but the question is it because they are confident they can actually redeem themselves for the mistake they've done? Maybe because they saw how they were able to control from the early games, but now they are going to actually tone down a little bit for the mid lane. They take out Lunox. If they are also thinking about picking off as well the mid laners that they want to actually guard out, but I don't think there's pretty much any mid laners they want to actually take down, and maybe even Farsa if they want to actually just shut down, but I think that's not going to be the focus right now though.
Yeah, I don't think Farsa is worth banning. It's very easy to cancel, especially since
Lunox,
we already have Lapu Lapu. Lunox was just banned.
Oh wait, Lunox, yeah.
That's literally what we were talking about.
Never mind.
But
this is all because of Flying Clouds.
Understandable. Maybe it's time to remove Flying Clouds from the game, right?
Yes, please.
Alright, Munten, you heard her. You heard Pasha, Munten.
Please,
sending that message to you. Alright, we got Hilda up on the ban list now for the side of Indonesia, which is understandable since they are going to be playing a Hayabusa currently, so they don't want to have their side of the map invaded. Farsa, not really worth banning, as we've already pointed out. There aren't a lot of other meta mid laners left, so if you want to start digging into the non-meta pockets, I feel like it would be too big to worry about. Looks like they will just stick with the Cho that they banned last game as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think pretty much we talked about how Cho is not really a great hero to be passed around or even to be give up. So definitely those are the meta heroes that you don't want to actually face off. So great composure coming from Cambodia to take that off. Now, Team Indonesia, seeing how we talked about how Team Cambodia-wise, they've already set them up with the same draft that we saw from the first round. Are they going to actually take down even more of the heroes that are comfortable in the hands of Cambodia? Even Alot, we saw it was really done greatly in the hands of Team Cambodia. They were able to shut down some of the players from Egypt, so that could be a question. But Kalea instead been taken out.
I think that's perfectly fine. Kalea Kimmy is actually a really annoying mid lane duo to deal with, and with a lot of the meta marksmen already taken out, you don't want to give that duo over to the side of Cambodia. Cambodia has a few options here. They will definitely need to rely back on a typical marksman, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go with the Granger here again, just to keep their last pick open, and yeah, that is what they'll do.
Alright, Team Indonesia, they want to go for that MM as well. It seems that they are going to pick out Harith as well as Selena. And we've talked about how Selena, when it comes to execution, it takes a lot of skills. You have to land that abyssal arrow very perfectly, and Sini somehow was able to actually portray that when they fought off with the team of Egypt.
Any team who picks Selena in this situation is worth fearing. This is the type of hero that you only pull out when you're 100% confident that it's going to work, and it just has such an oppressive presence overall. Team Indonesia is also sticking with a pretty classic lineup. They've got Harith in the gold lane, so that naturally has an advantage against the Granger. The only thing they might need to worry about is a lack of burst damage outside of the Abyssal Arrow, because a lot of their DPS is a little bit more over time. So Fredrin will be able to survive a lot longer this time around. Team Cambodia can utilize that with the Minotaur last pick.
I did saw that Minotaur was used when they fought off with Team Turkey. It didn't actually kind of promise or even actually secure a win against Turkey though, but maybe Team Cambodia maybe can actually change things up here when they fought off with Team Indonesia right now. Somehow, I still feel like we are going to lean off to the side of Indonesia, because we already saw when it comes to the draft-wise, especially with that Selena, we do feel like I kind of actually just feel confident because they can definitely land all those abyssal arrow. They're really good setup for themselves. So those things are not definitely be questioned about. The question for the side of Cambodia, however, can they actually be able to avoid it?
Yeah, they're gonna need to avoid it. I imagine we'll see a couple of purifies potentially here, especially on the Granger and the Kimmy. But they also gotta be very careful about backline diving here. Looks like it is Purify on the Kimmy, Flicker on the Granger, since Flicker is one of the battle spells that allows you to disjoint Ogi Shadow Kill. Cambodia is playing a very similar composition the last time around. The only difference is now they have two backline DPSs to be protected, but in exchange for that, they will get a lot more late game damage.
Oh, I'm really worried definitely for Team Cambodia. But again, this is the best of 5. Give it up for the team of Indonesia versus Cambodia. Welcome to the World Esports Championship 2025.
You are currently watching Game 2 of the Grand Finals. It's a best of 5 series, so first the 3 wins. And Indonesia is currently sitting on a 1-0 score. Vival already trying to steal a camp. Actually will succeed with that retry as well.
Definitely trying to do a lot of invasive movement right now by the team of Indonesia and Cambodia. For what I kind of actually look on the draft rise, I think when it comes to the early games, they can be able to survive. They can be able to tone down just a little bit of the movement from Team Indonesia. But moving into the mid game, I think that's where the fine line that you're going to be able to actually have a little bit of problem if Indonesia stacks up all of their damage. And here on out, Shell, so much damage to the side of Baobei with only the Chrono Dash. And this is where the fine line, how Baobei needs to step down just a little bit.
Yeah, Baobei has been having very clean Granger games for the entire day, basically, even against matchups that don't necessarily favor her. But Harith is a difficult one.
No, goes in for the dive. Shadow kill comes through. Baobei will be the first blood in the hands of Vival.
Vival coming in at a very important timing right there, because you would normally expect the junglers to gank the EXP lane at this timing due to the turtle coming up. By going for the gold lane instead, Vival gets a kill and sets herself up for an easier turtle take.
It's really going to be a really tough call coming up from Team Cambodia. A lot of the pressures come through. Even Moshi right now, 1v1 goes out to Fumieko. Fumieko will be able to skirt away without any casualties. So Not to worry much for Team Indonesia, but this is where the setup for the turtle dance. Let's see how Team Cambodia can do something about it.
Rival currently slightly ahead in EXP compared to Tagami thanks to that one jungle camp stolen as well as the kill onto Bao Bei earlier. This means that Indonesia has a slight advantage when it comes to the retry battle, but Cambodia still has the better direct team fight composition. Front to back is the best type of team lineup to contest objectives with, and so because of that, they still hold control.
The front still good, but Tagami takes the turtle first for the hands of Cambodia. Now comes in for the fight, but it seems that does not rush of a follow-up comes through from the side of Indonesia. Sine comes in, goes out. Even the Abyssal just going to land off, but they will be able to disperse without any of the sacrifices.
That is to be expected somewhat. Team Cambodia still have a better lineup for fighting turtles right now. Team Indonesia still wants to go for more single target pickups with this Hayabusa and Selena, so they won't commit too hard to trying to take that away from their opponents. Even without it, Indonesia has already shown us that they are capable of farming at a speed equivalent to even taking these objectives away.
Let's see. So far right now, we are seeing that both of the teams are able to actually just fight it off, make sure that they be able to actually survive it out. Somehow, objective, yeah, will be on the side of Cambodia, but not much of the gap though when it comes to economy. It's just 3,000 above Indonesia, and even for the fight of the crabs as well, somehow will be leaning onto the side of Cambodia. Goes in for a fight with Elan, though somehow Elan will be able to be guarded by the rest of the players of Cambodia.
So the reason why Cambodia... Oh, hold on.
Oh, they land. Lebazararo comes in. Fumieko jumps in with a falling star, but goes out with a wave breaker. Can they make it actually goes through? No, unfortunately doesn't actually make it through. And now they're going in for the AOG. Make it away. Goes in for Moshi as well, but Moshi managed to survive it out. So no casualty whatsoever with Uwe managed to survive.
You know, the sentence I was about to say before I was cut off is the reason Minotaur is picked is because he can quite effectively block abyssal arrows and keep people alive. And before I could even finish the sentence, the fight started
it has
because
been portrayed as well.
got hit by an abyssal arrow. So I don't even know what to call that curse at this point, but Indonesia going to be able to find solid advantage with that, instantly transitioning to taking the entire gold shield down bottom. And the turtle is spawning at this time as well.
It's not a curse, Dafa. It's definitely you actually predicting the future already. Don't take everything on negativities, Dafa. Right now, it's positive.
Caster curse is something that exists, you know?
It does exist, but so far you're doing well. So don't take it back. But on the other side right now, Fumieko will be got it all ganked out by the team of Cambodia. But again, when it comes to Esmeralda, definitely she can just swish-wash and still survive it out with so much sustainability in her hands. But Bao Bei in trouble there, having a lot of structure in ground with the Abyssal arrow as well, but goes in for the AOG. Now it's going to be a steal for Cambodia! Turtle gets in the hands again twice, and it seems that Cambodia, objective-wise, they are on the eyes now.
Having a Fred Rid means that you will typically have the advantage when it comes to turtles and lords compared to any sort of assassin jungles. And the fact that Team Cambodia knew that two members of Team Indonesia were in the bot lane trying to gank Bao Bei meant they had the numbers advantage for sure, so they would have guaranteed that most of the time. But Team Indonesia still tried to see if they could potentially get a cheeky steal regardless. So we have to keep this in mind currently. Both sides still fairly even as we approach the 6-minute mark.
Let's see, so far right now, Team Cambodia, they know that they are focusing greatly for the objective. So goal difference-wise is what made them a little bit okay for now. It's just that even though with all the objectives already been taken, Team Indonesia, they are still step ahead with all the kills. And now, coming in, Bao Bei had to flicker away before being taken out. This is a risky move coming in from Team Cambodia. So they actually had to step things up, making sure that all the minions, all the wave does not pressure into their lane.
That's honestly such a sneaky thing to do though from Fumieko. As a marksman, you would never expect anyone to be hiding that deep into your jungle while you're just trying to rotate the map, and it looks like he's not letting up.
Oh no, Fumieko goes in for the dive! Shuts down Bao Bei, but is it going to be in the cost of her own life? AOG comes in, does get two-player. Uwe takes down Fumieko, and now going in for Vivian as well, but Vivian takes down with the turret, but they want it more. They want to actually go for the trade. Vivian will be stolen by Tegami, and now going in for the shadow kill. Oh, Vivian goes in for the trade with the Uwe. Now one more, but unfortunately with that, Tegami also steal away, and now moving on, Cine will do the last hit to make sure not
think that does end up being beneficial for Indonesia, though, in the end. They are in a position where they want to get as many pickoffs as possible, even if it means trading for themselves. It would have been the best case scenario if Vival survived, but being able to pick off the opponent's main 2 cores while keeping your own alive, Shell not even being part of that fight, farming the entire time on the other side of the map, means that Indonesia is going to be able to build a nice little gold lead for themselves. Next turtle now going to be coming up. Indonesia in full control over the river. Cambodia dealing with all the pushing waves is not going to be able to walk up for this.
The sacrifice is fruitful for Team Indonesia. All the trades are required so that they can actually set up to get that last turtle. And coming in for the shadow kill. Oh, just a little bit spursed right now, but still will be able to go for the stun. Vivian shuts down Elon with the AOD. Now pushing on right now, Cambodia want to make sure they can trade it off, but now somehow they won't be able to do so. The follow is not there. Going in, City managed to go through, goes in for the Minion Fury, but doesn't actually catch up for the follow. Instead, it's going to be a backstab comes through for the side of Team Indonesia. Fumiko takes down Yue. Sama Force pull out, but Mochi as well as Tegami Baobe will be able to survive it out.
Team Cambodia has not been given enough time to build up damage compared to before. They haven't been able to get as much of a snowball on their Granger or their Kimi, which means that Team Indonesia are very willing to take extended trades. They just have a lot of sustained frontliners alongside the Revitalize on Vivian. They can cut fights in half, they can force the marksmen back, and then they can slowly dismantle the front line. Team Cambodia needs to play a little bit slower and safer, but in doing so also creates more opportunities for the arrow.
They goes in for the Minion Fury. Somehow doesn't actually have the follow-up. Shadow kill comes through. Doesn't get Moshi though, but at the same time, this is going to actually be an opener. AOG comes in. Vivian takes down Tonti Yue. Just a little bit more. Will be able to actually secure it off, but unfortunately, Team Cambodia, great defense. They managed to survive it out.
Good job by Team Cambodia there, being able to exchange bodies and rotate themselves within the team fight to make sure that they each soak enough damage that no one goes down to it. But it's also because Team Indonesia dived a little bit too far for that one. And there was really no need for them to. They're just testing limits right now because they've been able to build up a 3.5k lead. And next Lord is coming up in 20 seconds, so a win there would have set themselves up very comfortably for it. But even without the win in the team fight, they've got good split pushing pressure with Fumi Echo as well as Vival. And then Team Cambodia is going to need to rotate together a lot of the time to make sure they are not picked off. So that means that Indonesia controls the map.
Yeah, they are. Definitely. It's really tough coming in from Team Cambodia. Want to do a split push, but they deny it. Fumi Echo, again, Swiss Rash, split dash. Doesn't actually manage to actually take down. He goes for the last hit for Elon instead. Samapo has already been picked up. Minion Fury trying to make sure that they also be avoiding it. But Shadow Kill comes in. Just goes in for the dash though. But Baobe, just last hit, managed to move away from the Embezzle Arrow. But again, this is already a 1 win because they already taken out Elon. 1 damage burst comes in from Cambodia.
It was a good flicker timing there from Baobe to make sure that the Ogi Shadow Kill wouldn't finish her off. If they lost Granger as well, Indonesia would have absolutely won that fight. But we can see that they are doing a great job of targeting the right people. Even in the chaos of these 5-mans, those Abyssal Arrows are connecting. The Ogi Shadow Kills are being built up. Team Cambodia needs to reposition themselves and play defensively now to make sure that their marksmen can be protected.
This is the first lot in the hands of Team Indonesia. Left with 2 layers of turret. They can definitely finish it off already with this pushing of the minion. No matter what, the problem is with the holy defense, might actually be tempted right now. This is possibly the problem, but Moji once more goes in for the bravest fighter, lose the connection and ended up giving the opportunity for Shell just dash away, surviving it.
Quite unfortunate that Moshi missed the Flicker Landshaker, but even if it did connect, Shell still had the Purify, so she would have gotten out no matter what. The damage scaling now not going to be given a lot of time to come online because Indonesia keeps going for the fights.
Oh, Shadow Kill almost barely coming in. Goes in for the Shuriken, but still not enough though. Baobe managed to skirt away, barely alive, but somehow now going in for the mid turret. Goes out for the fight. They know they want to actually drag out just a little bit for the team of Indonesia. Will not get that turret, but Lord is coming in. That holy defense will be break immediately for them to get more of that fairness of the turret. Inhibitor turret right now will be taken out just a little bit.
Team Indonesia is well aware of the dynamics of their team compositions. They know that this game, they're actually playing the lineup that has a little bit less scaling potential overall since they are dealing with a Granger Kimi. This is one of the best late game scaling duos in the entirety strategy of MLBB, which means that they have to up the pressure. They cannot allow this game to last too long because it'll end up in a very similar situation to what they did to Cambodia in game number 1.
Buff's been stolen. Initiation always been stepped up ahead by Team Indonesia. Now even Brazil Arrow was able to land to take Gummy. Moshi want to do a little bit of zoning there. River Spider comes through, but at the same time, Bao Bei was spotted out right at the back line, but at the same time, they will be able to survive it out. Goes back to the base, and now the turret of the bottom already been shut down. They know this is going to be an opening. Are they going to actually force it out? Zaman Force already pulled out. Wait, just a little bit more. Chrono Dash comes through. Still managed to survive it out. Now they will be able to pull through just a little bit of defense. Great job coming through from Cambodia. But Team Indonesia, such discipline.
Uwe is doing a lot of work right now, keeping the side of Team Cambodia alive, healing the low health teammates when they're just on the cusp of death. Unfortunately, Minotaur is a very reactive type tank, which means that Uwe can't really do anything until something has actually happened. It's more of a counter-engage style. So they have to bait Indonesia in for the fights instead, but Indonesia isn't just running into them directly. They know that that is the strength of Cambodia's draft, so they're attacking from different angles, diving from the backline, forcing Elan and Bao Bei out of the fight. Even if they don't kill the marksman, as long as they're not there, Cambodia can no longer win. They just have to play to not lose.
Damage coming in from Fumieko is 55,000k. Sheesh, that's a lot coming in from the one who is tanky enough to survive at the front line. And this is where Fumieko is just shining, making sure that no one will be able to take down by Team Cambodia. Team Cambodia somehow couldn't find any answers so that they can actually just shell through into the Team Indonesia front hold. So far this is going to be another lot freely given up to the team of Indonesia because they will be able to guard out, get a little bit of Azuro, land it out to take Gummy, but Moshi comes in for the initiation. River Spider doesn't get Vivian instead, and now pushing on, they had to pull away before becoming a sacrifice in the hands of Indonesia.
Good reactive reaction from Cambodia right there. They see the Esmeralda coming from behind, so they instantly retreat. They make sure no one's left behind either. But they will have to give up their control over the Lord. Indonesia going to have another chance to push into the base now. And this is a very crucial Lord timing for them, actually. This is the last Lord that Indonesia can safely end the game with while still being a dominating position. If Cambodia is able to survive this without losing too many bodies, they will actually hit the timing where their marksmen start to scale. And then they can slowly regain map control. For that reason, Indonesia needs to get as much damage done with this Lord as possible right now.
This is going to be the last set of defense. If Team Cambodia does not hold every single pressure that has already been built up by Team Indonesia, as they make it through into the baseline right now, they are making sure that all of the wave is pushing into the base of Team Cambodia. Making sure that they are coming in. Bazaro already lands to take Gummy, but they're not going to actually go into the overextension. Just waiting up for the Lord to come into contest for the Crystal. And this is where they want to actually make sure that all of the divide information or even the focus will come into Cambodia's side. Somehow, Vivian goes into the front line. Fumieko trying to do a little bit of split splash. Doesn't actually get anyone, but Cambodia, that overextension. But they are going in for a fight with Fumieko. Goes out with the AOG. Vivian gets 3 players. But now, are they going pushing in? They are going to push in with the Zaman. Shadow Kill comes in. And now pushing on. They don't get the kills though, but they are going in for the crystals just a little more. Vivian takes down Bao Bei. Hichel managed to take down Moshi as well. But still, it is a little bit messy coming up from Team Cambodia. They still managed to survive it out, but no, Elan shuts down. Double kill comes into Shell. Crystal a little bit more. Will be Shadow. Vivian will get the last hit, giving that triple kill in the hands of Silly.
Game 2 goes in favor, once again, of Team Indonesia, which means the defending champions of the World Esports Championship are now officially on tournament point. One victory away from defending their title once more. A very aggressive gameplay coming in here and identifying that this is the time where they have to throw all their bodies against the wall to ensure that scaling never becomes an issue.
I mean, we did see great momentum coming in from Team Cambodia. We do have to agree that there was a lot of defense that it was set up. It was really good. It was actually kind of successful. They were able to zone out just a little bit of the players of Indonesia. But here's the thing, as much as you try to hold, you try to defend, it actually kind of falter if the moment that your lifelines deplete a little by little. And you're talking about how Vival was able to actually just dive in with the shadow kills, and even with the motivation raw, just to hype out, just to get a lot of revitalization for the health line, is still not going to be enough.
The biggest missed call, I think, in that game from Team Cambodia was actually right at the very end when they decided to engage on Fumieko.
Yeah.
Because I already set the states, right? Their lineup will scale better. And if Indonesia doesn't end the game with this lore, they actually have a chance of slowly turning it around. The goal for Cambodia there was not to get kills, it was to survive. But because they spent their resources and sent their front line on the Esmeralda in the bot lane, Indonesia were able to get a free push onto the mid lane, take out the last remaining tower they had, and then threaten the positioning of the marksmen. After that, they just couldn't hold against 3 pushing waves at once.
Looking on the 16-minute 26, it's even less time compared to the first round. We had like 23 minutes previously, and now it's getting depleted even more, decreasing, showing that how Indonesia is getting faster and faster adapting to the gameplay of Cambodia. And again, I'm talking about how Cambodia, they were fresh from the win against Egypt, but is this the time where we say, are they actually having a rough spot because they have so much of their focus and energy already been thrown into the hands of Egypt, and now they're fighting with the reigning champions of Indonesia? So it's going to be even more tougher because their mentals and stamina is already also in danger.
They're struggling a little bit with the micro mechanics, but a lot of it also comes down to draft dynamics actually. Because in game 1, Cambodia had the better early game draft. And you saw that they were able to make use of that and dominate most of the game before Indonesia hit their timing in the late game. This time around, Indonesia has the slightly better early to mid-game draft, and they played to that timing themselves, and so Cambodia was never able to come online with this double marksman composition. I think what they're going to need to do going forward is actually adjust a little bit and maybe consider playing back double fighter.
Oh, and one more thing. I think Esmeralda gotta be banned out.
Potentially, yeah. Or you just gotta make sure you have a proper counter to it.
Definitely, because again, they didn't adapt. They keep on making the same draft that we've seen so far. They keep on prioritizing Kimi, prioritizing Fredrid, as well as Granger. Yeah, you're playing with your own comfort, but then again, it kind of gives a lot of potential for Indonesia just trample them. And this is why they are 3 players or even 2 players from Indonesia was able to steal away that key player title, with Shell again with the Goal Hunter 745 GPM, as well as the GOAT with 89,670. Moshi as the tanker with 160. I thought it was going to be Fumieko because previously it was Fumieko who was just dominating, was able to just absorb every damage that was done by Cambodia. But Vivian, our mother of tank, with such great initiation of the AOG, she gets the best support of 8 total assists.
I think when it comes down to these more classic compositions, the counters to them are already known. And while it requires a bit more finesse to execute, we know that the skill level of Indonesia allows that. Especially with Vival on one of her signatures, this Hayabusa. Your backline marksmen are always going to be a target, and because the rest of Team Indonesia can buy enough time for her to enter at the correct timing during team fights, she's able to get a lot of damage done.
Oh yeah, many times Vival was able to go to the back line, try to actually shoo away or even scared out Bao Bei. Yeah, maybe she might not be able to actually catch out Bao Bei, and Bao Bei was able to actually survive or even escape twice from the hands of Vival. But that's enough. That's enough for Bao Bei just to back off and giving a lot of the run for Team Cambodia. And that's what you don't want to happen, you know, when you know for a fact that your opponent is just going to actually pressure you so much to the point that you just have to run away and just survive it out and go back to your fountain and revive back. And that kind of situation gives an opportunity for your own opponent to invade more of your territory, goes into the crypt wise, or even manage to actually go push in for the minion wave.
The issue with going for marksman with Fredrin is, once again, you generally have to group together And that works really well when you're contesting objectives and going for team fights, but then you lose out a lot of macro pressure. And Indonesia is very good at messing with the map, messing with the waves to force you to move around in places that you're not as comfortable, or force you into positions where you have to take the game super duper slow and end up not farming as quickly as you could be. So I think Cambodia might have to give up on the idea of going Fredrin Granger and take back the skirmish capability of double marksman or putting Tegami back onto an assassin, because now their backs are truly against the wall.
They are, definitely, because we talked about how this is going to be the best of 5, and we said how many times that, oh, you still have chance, you definitely will be able to pick yourself up, you still have a lot of things that you can actually cover up, or maybe can change up or learn from the mistake. But here's the thing, there's only one more round for the team of Indonesia to claim or even defend their champion title here at WEC25. And if Cambodia doesn't steal away at least one of this game to prolong our grand finals, we might have to see the deja vu, the redemption arc breaks on its own, and history has been repeated on itself again.
Last year, the grand finals was the best of 3. The score was 2-0 in favor of Team Indonesia, which means that this is the point where last year the new champions were crowned. If it is time to rewrite history, now is the only and final time to do so. Can Team Cambodia show the world that they have learned enough to take on the defending champs, that it is possible to draw blood from these titans? Those are the answers that we are hoping to find out very soon.
You're making me nervous. You're making me nervous. So I have to have my monster energy to boost myself up for this one match that might be the end if Cambodia does not do something. Gotta boost him up.
That's true, that's true. We all gotta make sure that we are prepared. We gotta keep our arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, you know, because this is gonna be a bumpy ride right here, you know. Keep yourself seated, because this is gonna be an exciting one.
Okay, here's the thing. There's a fact a little bit for Staffa, right? He doesn't like energy drink because he said that he's kind of keeping it healthy. So that's why we have our red one, drinking water. So if you want to have a little bit healthier option, wow, this is like a little bit of product placement here, but it's okay. Hey, I'm doing my job right now. So yeah, if you want to go for the healthy option, why don't you go for the drinking of Red One Mobile? Okay,
Very well done. She's so nervous she has to go into product placement mode.
No, because just now I was given an instruction, so I'm just doing what I'm being told. I'm just being a nice caster right now. Am I right, Mr. Handsome behind this? Yes.
Okay, we got a positive affirmation. So good job. Well done there. Do you need anything else from us?
Yes. Oh, what about Aiku? Aiku, you even said it wrongly, Mr. Producer. So IQ is one of our official phones for our IESF or WEC25, and we talked about how the players are actually playing on the stage right now. If you guys are looking for to be the best player in MLBB, this is the phone that you're looking for. It gives a lot of chance for you to play a very long time, and not only that, you'll be able to actually have a fun time playing the games. It's not going to overheat, it will have a great FPS, and that's why our players right on stage right now, they're having fun. Yeah, they may actually have a little bit of technical issues, but that's not coming from the phone. It's just pretty much, they just want to be prepared, mentally prepared going into the game so that everything will be smooth. And so far right now, we didn't even have any technical pause, right? So that's why it is shown that this phone is the best game to play around.
Oh, it sounds like we've just got everything here, right? We've got energy drinks, we got water, we got phones, right? We've even got these really nice chairs, Razer, that we're sitting on in order to cast all this, just like the players up on stage. So once again, thank you very much to all of our official partners for making all of this possible, because this could very well be the final game of the night. Team Cambodia, one final opportunity. If they want to be able to challenge the throne, they need to be able to take 3 games straight.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure building up right there, knowing for a fact that, okay, you might be able to steal one map, but here's the thing, there's a lot of things that you need to cover after that as well. One map of win doesn't actually guarantee that you can actually have the championship. So a lot more need to be thrown in so that you can be able to overtake our final boss right here from Team Indonesia. But so far right now, I know that we've been talking how the draft-wise has been very straightforward and so honest from Team Cambodia, and we talked about how they need to change things up, or if they don't want to change things up, or they feel like they're already comfortable with what they've already have with Fredrin as well as Kimi, right? Maybe a little bit more perfectionist on their own execution. So far right now, I kind of feel most of the time they are a little bit of hesitant. I can sense a little bit of them feeling that respect towards the side of Indonesia, so they don't want to overstep, they don't want to overextend, but then they kind of actually give a lot of the potential, or even giving a way for Team Indonesia to say like, are you scared of us? We're gonna actually strike you right now.
I do think that trying to go for the same strategy and perfecting it when you've already lost with it twice in a row is not really going to be the right way moving forward, right? The definition of insanity, again, is attempting to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So once again, I do think that going to a strat like Double Fighter would be good, picking up Assassins again would be good, Dangerous Grass going to be the map for game number 3, so this is a good place to pull out heroes like the Hilda, maybe even the Hellkurt making an appearance for once, right? Just something different, because so far the Fredrin has not worked out the way that Team Cambodia was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is pretty much a really good map for you guys to play around with, because pretty much most of the time that we are seeing from Team Cambodia is where they don't have that surprise element when it comes to setting up. But here's the thing. Team Indonesia, they're very good at that. They like to do ambush, and this is where Team Cambodia needs to be very aware of going into the danger grass. Now, going into the phase of ban again, we are seeing Jushin takes out, Eve also been taken out. On the side of Cambodia, they still prioritize on the Baxia as well as Lancelot. Here's the thing, Grok is still open now. They want to actually allow it, and as well as Esmeralda. Does Indonesia want to also shut it down for themselves, or they're gonna actually figure out like, hey, maybe we just let it go because we have the first pick anyway?
It does seem like Team Cambodia is choosing to remain on the red side, so it seems they have a plan. Maybe it is a good time to consider trading away both roamers, right? Up until now, either Gatot or Grok has been banned, and because of that, we've been seeing Team Indonesia grab it. Yup, they go for the Esme ban instead, which means that they're giving Indonesia the choice, basically. You can get Grok or Gatot, we'll just grab whatever else is left. But I don't think that Indonesia is gonna go for that as a result. I think they might actually start off with the Kimi or Lapu Lapu instead.
Oh, if they want to even Hayabusa, go ahead. You're quite open as well. But even though kind of actually very earlier on, but I do see like Indonesia had been doing this. They actually prioritized on the Hayabusa earlier on, so it can happen, you know.
I think it's a bit dangerous to do so on first pick in Dangerous Grass when Hilda is still open.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that's holding me back. I think it's safer to go Lapu Kimi, let Cambodia choose which roamer they want, and you grab the other. But it looks like Indonesia actually likes Grok enough that they'll just take it anyway.
I mean, they did win against Egypt twice with the Grok draft in their lineup, so definitely that's one of the priorities that is done by Team Indonesia. Now, Team Cambodia, again, they keep on picking up that Lapu Lapu with Kimi. Are they going to actually keep that up? Because so far right now, it's not the problem of them not able to actually execute properly. It's just pretty much they didn't have much chance, that's all.
Yeah, Lapu Kimi is a very safe opening. It also
Even
leaves you
Gatot
very
tries to
vulnerable.
open.
You should probably... Actually, no, you don't have to go Gatot here yet, because there's no risk of it being stolen. You can actually pick it as third and prioritize different heroes that are higher in the list. So they go Lapu, Isun Shin.
Lapu Lapu, Yi Sun Shin. I mean, yeah, Yi Sun Shin pretty much we saw how it was when it goes into the hands of Indonesia. Great momentum, can open up the map with a Mountain Shocker. Those are the things that is very good for the side of Team Cambodia. But is it really too fast to be picking up that Yi Sun Shin actually?
Yi Sun Shin is just generally quite safe. I think it is fine because it leaves your draft quite flexible. So this does mean Indonesia will probably grab Hayabusa. Previously, they went Haya Esme in this position, but Esme is already banned. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else very solid that they can pick safely. Lunox potentially? No. Ooh. something different. Kimmy with the Uranus.
I think we've seen so far that a lot of times that Uranus sometimes does popped off in our women category, and I don't think I've seen from Indonesia though that they actually picked up Uranus even from the group stage as well. But it is actually one of the formidable option here for any kind of drafting wise, and knowing for a fact that if Indonesia, they can actually counter off with a lot of the sustainability, I don't think there's much of any problem for them. So great move coming from them. But Team Cambodia, are they going to actually pick up their assassin jungler right now? It seems that they're going to actually pick up Gato Kacha. So this is going to be an opening for the team of Cambodia as well as Indonesia to tone down a little bit of their jungler as well. They can actually just shut down Hayabusa, or they can actually just focus on the mid laner as well for Team Indonesia.
I think they should ban junglers. Get rid of Hayabusa, maybe get rid of Joy as well, depending on what you're most afraid of. But I want to highlight a little bit about the genius of picking Uranus in this position. Normally, Uranus is a hero that you don't want to pick before you've seen your opposing EXP lane. Now, Indonesia already does know the Lapu-Lapu, but there's always the risk of double fighter side lane, right? The reason why it's actually good to go Uranus here is that Esme is already banned. That's one of the heroes that gives trouble to Uranus. And because they know that Cambodia has to lock in Gatot Kacha as their turret, they can start banning other heroes that counter the Uranus. Things like the Lunox, things like the Alice or the Glue in lane. And that creates a much safer environment for it.
Yeah, another hero to be banned out by Team Cambodia. Are they going to actually also shut down one more jungler in the hands for them to actually tone down? Again, Hayabusa is still open, or they're going to actually prioritize another one. I think Hayabusa is actually a perfect choice, especially the fact that we've seen Vival has been performing well 2 rounds in a row and giving an opportunity for them to just trample Cambodia.
Yeah, and Hayabusa for sure. Wonder what else they would be concerned now. Cambodia with the Yi Sun-shin can play double fighter, so Ruby is still a possibility. If Indonesia is no longer concerned about anything else countering the Uranus, then getting rid of the Ruby here probably makes the most sense overall.
Let's see if that's going to be the case though. Somehow, I don't know if Team Indonesia gonna actually do it, because it feels like they want to actually tone down a little bit more of the mid lane as well though. So let's see what else that is going to be shut down. It's going to be Harith instead.
Interesting. Okay, getting rid of the Harith. So Indonesia either wants to force Cambodia into Granger, or they themselves want Granger. I think it's more of the latter, because Cambodia does still have a good setup for double fighter, and I feel like that gives them a little bit more enabling in terms of skirmishes. But they also are lacking a mid laner that will work well with that. The Farsa gonna show up for the first time, and actually not a bad game for it. Grok can cancel Farsa, but is generally going to be okay against everything else. Though now Indonesia can pick up heroes that threaten it.
I mean, yeah, definitely not a bad idea to pick up Farsa though. But again, when it comes to the invasion wise, Indonesia has so much freedom right now. Even with Grok, be able to actually cancel it out. Here's the thing, we got a Uranus who's just flying around with the disc around his body, so that's going to be a case of very wary enough for Team Cambodia. But no, not only that the Granger has already been picked up, Fredwin will be stolen in the hands of Team Indonesia.
This is a direct challenge. This is basically the same style of draft that Cambodia was playing in game number 2. And Indonesia is the one saying now, we're gonna show you how to play this better.
Yeah.
Cambodia gonna need to respond to this correctly. Farsa is actually pretty solid for dealing with these squishier backline marksmen. Gatot gives catch. They are looking for a gold laner. I still do think that Ruby is genuinely quite solid. They don't need to go into a marksman here because they already have Yi Sun-shin Farsa.
Let's see if that's going to be the case though. But no, they picked up the Claude instead. I mean, now they pretty much prioritize on damage-wise. This is what they want to actually see. They maybe probably see how all the draft that they've been done, they are prioritizing more on the sustainability. They have the front line for themselves. But here's the thing, it's not much of the defend-wise is seen in Cambodia's side. Do you agree on that?
A little bit. They do have frontline, but my main calm with this is that if they had gone Ruby, they would have peaked at a different timing compared to Indonesia earlier, actually, which would allow them to play a much faster game. But by playing for Claude, it means that they're actually aiming for the same scaling timing as Indonesia, which is late game. And that makes it a 50-50 rather than having a clear advantage at a certain point in the game instead. It is safer because you can almost always guarantee scaling, and Claude is very hard to catch since Indonesia is lacking crowd control. But it all depends on how well Baobei will farm.
Let's see. So far right now, they are prioritizing on the sprint. Again, everyone, make it up here for the grand final MLBB Women category. Give it up for Team Indonesia versus Cambodia.
We're now officially jumping into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, and Indonesia is currently leading by 2 points. A single victory in this game is all it will take for our defending champions to once again claim the throne and the crown. Can Cambodia be the rock in their path?
The rock that is so big that they cannot move at all. This is a mountain that they need to climb through to get to the other side. But somehow, Team Indonesia, the more they try to climb, the more higher the mountain they are putting out against Team Cambodia. And looking on the draft-wise, I feel like starting up earlier on is definitely not going to be easy for Team Cambodia compared to all the 2 drafts that they've done. When they actually had that 2 draft, they know for a fact they can be confident early games as well as the mid game. But Team Indonesia right now, with a really solid draft-wise, I don't think Cambodia can be pushing out too aggressive.
Yeah, definitely not. Cambodia's timing is going to be around, once again, the first to second turtle duration, because that is where Farsa is going to unlock the feathered airstrike and start doing some good damage from behind. If they can set up good catches with Ue, then that Elan is going to be a very important player for Cambodia. It's basically their best bridge from the early into the late game. So they want to aim to snowball Farsa here if possible.
Let's see if that's going to happen. Turtle has already been spawned. This is only the first one. Seems that Vival is already taking her hands, trying to actually drag out a little bit of the lifetime of the turtle. Moshi goes in for the backline, just going one-on-one with Fumieko, but it's going to be a win for Vival to get that turtle. Great win, especially with the Urta Rampant, just denies any movement coming up from Team Cambodia. Again, when it comes to pressure, Indonesia will deny it.
Well, as expected, Indonesia are the ones with the Fredrin this time around, so that means they can much more easily contest the first couple turtles. So it's perfectly fine for Cambodia to choose not to fight, though I do feel like they could have considered it at least. Vivian is going to be able to hit level 4 before Ue, it looks like, so Indonesia has provided some minions over to her, which means they want to try and maximize this timing where their opposing roam doesn't have their ultimate yet to maybe find a catch.
Let's see, Urta Rampage, mighty swing, but they will be able to move away. A lot of the tease and the poke comes in from the team of Indonesia, and Cambodia just trying to create some safe space so that they do not get caught off guard by the team of Indonesia.
They play it safe. Cambodia can just generally avoid interacting with their opponents until the mid-game. But that also allows Indonesia to get a lot of space on the map to farm. We can see just based on the way they're rotating, Cambodia is not really maximizing their farm efficiency. Moshi in particular is being pulled over to this side of the map very often. And that is giving away farm to Fumieko and now even Cine.
Even Cine right now just doing a lot of invasive attacks, giving a lot of pressure for Team Cambodia. This is back again to all of the games that we've seen for today. Team Cambodia, again, taking it a slower path, but yet it's not going to be easy if they don't actually try to test things out. Again, it gives so much space for Team Indonesia to just mess around.
And this is why I was concerned about the Claude pickup. On paper, it's good that Cambodia is playing it slow because they want their gold laner to farm. But Indonesia has 2 marksmen that is perfectly happy to farm.
coming out, already stealing up the buff as well. And Cambodia was just overlooking, doesn't want to even overextend themselves. And now come through with a tectonic charge as well. Gets 3, but somehow they managed to move away. Elan, just one more shot to go. Federasa is already open. Elan will be taken out immediately. Moshi goes to infiltrate with Vival as well. So 1-1 right now for the team of Indonesia versus Cambodia.
Now, I don't think it's very worth for Vival to trade for Elan there, because the jungler is going to have higher value than the mid laner, especially with the turtle coming up. But I think Indonesia is also aware that Cambodia needs this Farsa to actually do something in order for them to have relevance at this stage of the game. So if you can just take it out of the equation entirely, then that's not actually too bad. And you're giving so much farm in the side lanes to your 2 marksmen.
Not only that, great zoning comes in. All the gold plates has been sucked up by the team of Indonesia. Soaking all of the resources is what giving Indonesia a very good leeway. Faidara side has been already open, giving a lot of pressure, but at the same time, Vival takes down the turtle. Now they're going to go in for the counter-attack. Traction Pulse comes through, able to take down Tikami, bounce the shelter as well, but somehow Team Cambodia somehow had to move away. Hooray! Will be tossed out. Dragged by Sini, getting 2 players down in the hands of Indonesia.
This is already a disaster for Team Cambodia. I'm gonna say it right now. 3.5k goal lead, 5 minutes. Moshi explodes in the mid lane. Tier 1 mid gone in 5 minutes. Indonesia is playing double marksman. They should be scaling, but they're winning right now.
No, Elon, Feather strikes straight away cancel out. Try to actually make sure clearing the way, but this is risky coming from Team Cambodia. Again, so much domination from the top lane to the mid lane, and now it's giving a lot of potential for Team Indonesia.
There has already been a mistake in approach here from Team Cambodia, choosing to take the game slowly when they're actually the ones that need to be upping the tempo. This is one of the biggest gold leads we've seen this early in the series thus far. Jungle camps being stolen away because Vival is still relevant.
Goes in for the tectonic charge. Open traction pulse always pull through to the side of Team Cambodia. They will not be able to survive it out though. All the best assets comes in. No, away goes to the front line. Will be shut down by Shell as well. Mountain Shaka comes through, but still, it is already 1P in the hands of Indonesia.
The win condition of this lineup from Cambodia is heavily dependent on Tegami and Elan having a notable pressure on the map and remaining relevant so that Baobei can get her farm. But the total opposite has happened. There is basically no presence from this Yi Sun-shin and Farsa right now. And instead, it is the Kimi along with the Fredrin that is creating space. Indonesia are already on track.
Dash to Baobei though. Baobei having a problem, but Sini does manage to be taken out by Moshi. That could be a little bit of small wins comes in for the team of Cambodia. Fumieko, too much of the overextension, but they won't actually have the opportunity to actually punish her. So still, the team of Indonesia, they are still good to go.
Small win is still going to be a win though for the side of Team Cambodia. They were able to punish Sini there. Indonesia though, no skin off their back really. Their main win condition is still going to be Shell on this Granger, who is probably scaling like crazy right now. Actually level 10, which is higher level than anyone on the side of Team Cambodia currently. They are being forced to play super closely together because of the fear that has been put in their hearts from the previous 2 series. But if they're playing it too safe, then they're also taking it too slowly. And Indonesia has shown time and time again that they thrive in these sort of situations.
The fact that Lord straight away spawned it out right here, Team Indonesia is definitely going to actually go for the dance itself. Cambodia somehow having a little bit of slow rotation, looking for a way for them to step things up. Can they actually go for the setup? Transient Pulse comes through, does catch out just a little bit, but they will be able to get away from all the setup that was done by Team Indonesia. And somehow, Team Indonesia doesn't commit to it. They just want to make sure that Cambodia shows themselves first for the location-wise. And even from the backline, we do see Fumieko has already been spotted out. So Cambodia, good discipline, great composure, making sure that Indonesia doesn't go too further on.
I think that is good. Cambodia, they can try to contest this, but you could also argue that they don't actually need to. If they are gonna be able to sacrifice farm on everyone else and just funnel all of it into Baobei, there is still actually a chance when once this Claude hits around the 3rd or 4th item mark, which is probably going to happen around 16 minutes, But there is already a nearly 2,000 gold difference just between the marksmen alone.
No, Uwe try to pick things out. Had to move away with the AOG instead. Even Fumieko is roaming around with the Ionic Disc to make sure that Cambodia just backs away. This could be a good lot to be taken by Team Indonesia, but then they don't really overextend as well. They just want to mess around with Cambodia. This is where the fine line out. Team Indonesia, they are so disciplined. They don't actually underestimate their players, their opponent, and they are so well known to have a really good response getting that Lord for the first time.
Yeah, they were dancing that Lord because they didn't actually know where Tegami was on the map. But after enough time had passed, they could quite safely say that he was probably farming elsewhere. And that is exactly what was happening. Tegami was actually stealing the bottom half of the jungle from Team Indonesia. So I will give props for that. I think that is the right call to be making in this situation. This is the first Lord of the game. Shouldn't be too difficult to handle, though Cambodia will probably have to sacrifice their mid-tier 2 for it.
Let's see, so far right now, it is still just the first Lord. Going in for the zoning right now, Fumieko. It seems that they spotted out Cambodia. Federer has already been opened. Managed to take down Shell first of all. Tegami comes in, but unfortunately will be traded out by Cine. Now moving along, they will be able to do a little bit of enforcement at the moment right now with the Lord also crashing on, giving a lot of pressure. But still, Team Cambodia managed to survive without Moshi as the frontliner, giving a lot of support, all the sustainability, making sure that no one goes down without a fight.
That was actually very well done by Cambodia. Tegami waiting for the ambush, actually finding the kill on Shell is very valuable to them right now to stop this Granger from continuing scaling too much. It's unfortunate that Shell doesn't really have a shutdown for Tegami to claim, but it is still pretty good damage being done to keep Cambodia in this. Unfortunately, they have lost all of their external towers and even 2 of their holy defenses, so any subsequent defense is going to become a little bit more difficult. But if they can delay the game another 5 minutes or so, then Baobei will actually become kind of a threat, and Indonesia will have to tread lightly.
Will Indonesia allow that? 32k damage is already in the hands of Shell. If Shell wasn't been dropped so quickly from the side of Team Cambodia, maybe they could have been turned things around for them. But then again, here's the thing, Indonesia, they're not going to allow that mistake comes through. They will definitely learn from it. They will cover things ground and they will be able to actually guard their MM properly this time. So far right now with 50 seconds, the Lord is going to come off. Oh, Fumieko, overextension, but I don't think that's going to be a case though. They will be able to survive it out. So again, this is just a little bit of opening of the map location.
This is a bit of a unique situation. Oh, Shell steals the orange buff as well. A little bit of insult to injury. But it is a unique situation where Team Indonesia has already defeated this composition that they were using once before. That means that they have a good idea of the inner workings of its weaknesses. But Cambodia also knows that because they were subject to it themselves.
And looking on the side, Auto Weapon already been put up, but they're not going to actually follow up that. This is pretty much just to scatter things around for Team Cambodia. 7 more seconds to go. It's going to be the Lord for the second one, but Mountain Shocker comes in. Vivon takes down Tegami as well. Come through right now as they had to actually pull away. But their side has already been opened, but Moshi unfortunately will be shut down by Cine. Fumieko doing a lot of damage right in front of the line, pushing on to Team Cambodia. This is going to be the inhibitor turret that they want to actually pull on. Doesn't even need the Lord so far, but at least Cambodia has already been back off. Then they actually be able to get that Lord if they want to push through.
That was a big blunder from Tegami. She could have actually gone home. She could have ignored them entirely because I don't think Indonesia were actually trying to jump her. But she saw the Granger and thought, I have to go for this right now or I might be in trouble. That was not really the case. It was desperation. And was not able to land the Mountain Shocker. So Indonesia got a free kill on the Yi Sun Shin. That gives them another free Lord. And this is now a very dangerous one. It's a very similar situation to game number 2, where this is a Lord that can be used to make the base of Cambodia empty. But compared to before, Indonesia is not beholden to ending the game with it. Even if they're not able to take the victory with this objective, they have more than enough scaling to keep the game going.
Let's see if Cambodia can set things up for defense though. So far right now, they have done a really good reaction great response-wise, but somehow it's not going to be enough though if they actually give that opportunity for Team Indonesia to go to the back line. And this is what we've seen so far. So much damage that was burst out by Val as well as Shell. It gives so much of the opportunity for them to shut down Cambodia. Now pushing on for the bottom lane as well, just making sure all the minion waves just come through. But here on out, they're going in for a fight. Seems that Tegami in a little bit of danger. Managed to scare away by Bumiego. Managed to actually shut it down with Vivian. Shuts it down Tegami. Badarsa has already opened. Tried to scare away, but it's not going to be enough damage though. Elan had to pull away. Bushi surviving it out. Oh, the bravest fight, but unfortunately always going to be the end for her as Bumiego takes it down. Bumiego also managed to shut it down. By the double kill coming in for Shell side. Crystal is on the loose right now. Can he make it through? Unfortunately, it's not. Triple kill will be in the hands of Team Indonesia as the champion reigning here at the WEC 2025.
The crown and the trophy are reclaimed once more. Ladies and gentlemen, your WEC 2025 Women's MLBB category champions, Team Indonesia!
Such solid game, such solid ground they hold to a point that's why they are the final boss for the women category. No one, not even one game has been dropped here in the World Esports Championship 2025. Such clean record. Despite, however, Cambodia, they want to actually make the histories. It doesn't really had to be happening here for 2025. But again, congratulations to the team of Indonesia. Let's go straight to the stage to hear what they have to say after this win.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your WEC Women's MLBB back-to-back champions, Team Indonesia! Ladies, the stage is yours. You may now approach your throne of the WEC Women's MLBB World Esports Championship trophy in a count of 3, 2, 1. They are your 2025 World Esports Champions! Congratulations! They're having a little bit of their photo moment and their video moment going on right now. Girls. Girls, congratulations. How are you guys feeling right now? You guys are the back-to-back champions.
We're feeling amazing.
I know. What an incredible series. You know what, girls? I think I want to ask all of you guys here, who do you guys dedicate this victory to?
Well, for me, first of all, of course, I'm dedicating this win to our country, our home country, Indonesia. We're doing all of this for Indonesia. Menangnya buat semua yang dukung kita dan buat negara kita pastinya. For me, I dedicate this trophy for our federation, who always help us through everything, and they're such a helpful people. We dedicate this win to our country, Indonesia, and all of our supporters, and also our beloved federation, PBSI.
Tim Indonesia dan seluruh pengurus besar eSport Indonesia.
The Indo Pride is very much proud in this arena. Girls, thank you so much. And before we head on to the prize-giving ceremony that is happening in just a short while, I will first throw this back to the casters to give us a post-match analysis of this amazing grand finals.
And it seems that history will indeed repeat itself once again as the World Esports Championship Women's MLBB category welcomes its first back-to-back champions. Team Indonesia with a wonderful performance in a 3-0 clean sweep up against Team Cambodia.
Definitely a great fight indeed. I think pretty much Team Indonesia was just covering a lot of grounds up. I mean, talking about how they were never able to actually be read up very quickly by Team Cambodia. Even no matter how much of the change-up that was done by Team Cambodia, it's still such a great challenge that was been put out by Team Indonesia, right? You talked about how they want to show like, hey, if you're going to actually use this draft, let us show you how it is supposed to be done. And they did it so perfectly that Team Cambodia couldn't do anything.
Now, just a little bit of information for those of you watching at home. There will indeed be a prize award ceremony happening right after this. But to set up the stage for a little while, let's talk about what happened in game number 3. I especially want to highlight the 2 chastised pauldrons that were purchased by Vival and Vivian because they knew that they were dealing with double marksman. And this is specifically meant to counter the Claude as well because it will reduce the overall attack speed. And this is a marksman hero that heavily depends on that stat.
The fact that the last pick was Claude, though, definitely we thought about how, yes, Cloud can have a really good escape mechanism, blazing duet, but again, it takes so much time. And Team Indonesia, they know for a fact they can play around with that. If knowing for a fact that Cambodia was pretty much having a priority that can they actually slow the momentum, can they actually go in for their power spike, those are the things that is going to be crucial for Team Indonesia to say like, hey, you're not going to reach your power spike, you're not going to go in for that 15 minutes because the fact is, we'll make sure that all the pressure has been done. Even all the invasion that was done by Team Indonesia gives so much of resources, and even we did see Tegami was just going all of the way to actually invade as well as stealing some of the resources at the end of it all. It doesn't really matter because the damage has already been done.
And the main factor, I think, that really separates Team Indonesia from everyone else here at WEC is their map awareness and their ability to take advantage of it. The way that they split up their members across different lanes to get farm, even though some of them could be at risk of being picked up. They have 2 marksmen. They were literally farming the side lanes, one independently by themselves. Could have gotten ganked at any time, but Indonesia knew there was no risk of that. They already had vision being provided. They knew where the enemies were on the map. Cambodia, unfortunately, I think we're already in a bit of a hesitant state after the first 2 losses. So they kept sticking together, even though they do have the tools to split push and farm up the map. And it really felt like they could have been more aggressive as well, but there wasn't really a lot of that.
Oh, definitely. Hesitance comes in. It kind of actually built up a lot of the intensity as well as the fear in themselves. So when you actually fear to move forward, it gives an opportunity for Team Indonesia to just abandon every single situation. But our MVP for this grand final is going to be Cine with the KDA of 417, GPM 577, and DPM 1533.
While her gameplay may not be quite as flashy as some of the other players, you can't deny that having her consistent presence in the backline, dishing out damage on mage heroes like the Eve, sniping people with the Selena, or just dishing out damage with the Kimi is always going to be a reliable threat for Team Indonesia. And because the front line was already so solid, Cine could play as aggressively as she wanted without fear of retribution because she knows her limits well.
No, definitely. Even all the Treacherous spells landed so perfectly, able to actually just group things up for Team Cambodia. And this is why the initiation, all the setup that was done by Indonesia team, they can be able to follow up. Compared to Team Cambodia, the moment they were actually being pressured by Indonesia, they scattered around. They ended up saying like, no, don't let's go out, let's just disperse. Definitely we had to actually neutralize the situation. But here's the thing, Indonesia, once they actually have a grab on you, they will not let you go.
And Indonesia were always the aggressors throughout this entire grand final series. Actually, we can see in the highlights here that basically anytime Cambodia fought, it was only because Team Indonesia started the fight and they just had to respond to it. They never really tried to create opportunities for themselves. A lot of the time when these fights were happening as well, Team Indonesia was getting farm on other sides of the map, or they were only doing so when they knew that Shell and Cine would be able to start getting assists from it or contribute damage where necessary. So Team Indonesia already had control of this game from the very beginning. Their strategy is on another level entirely, and this truly is the mark of an experienced squad.
Showing off how much of the whole entire experience that they've had throughout their life, throughout their MLBB scene. It shows how much the rest of the teams in the other countries need to actually step up if they want to actually beat off this final boss. But again, we don't want to discredit Cambodia as they are the runner-up, so they are going home with the prize pool as well. But here's the thing, they will have to actually do better if they actually want to come in for next year. But this is the ending of our grand final MLBB Women category.
What a day it has been here in day 4 of the WEC, but it's not over yet. Like we mentioned earlier, there is going to be a prize-giving ceremony to our brand new, or I guess our same old champions once again here in WEC. So that'll be a great capstone to end off the day. And that's not the end of the tournament either, because tomorrow we are going to be witnessing the conclusion of the Open category, where many of the men's teams are going to be competing.
It's going to be interesting. This is already a wrap for the grand finals of the ladies. Now we have to muster even more of our momentum for tomorrow night. So the action continues on. Do not stop. Keep supporting here at our World Esports Championship 2025. But again, we're going to give a heads up or even give it away for our ceremony right now. So again, let's give a great warm applause to one and only our champion, Indonesia!
Rose, we'll let you handle it from here. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. Please join me in giving a round of applause to our top 3 this WEC 2025 Women's Division. To present these prestigious awards, we are deeply honored to welcome Ms. Ana Caracolas, IESF Chief Marketing Officer, alongside Mr. Zaid Fakrurozi, Secretary General of the MESF. For the 3rd place, we invite Mr. Zaid to present our 2nd runner-up medal to Team Egypt. And for our first runner-up, we would like to have Miss Anna to present the award to Team Cambodia. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, this is a team who stood tall among the rest. It is time for your World Esports Champion. Give it up for Team Indonesia! Thank you very much to Ms. Anna and to Mr. Zaid for presenting the medals and honoring our top teams. This is the highest honor in international of esports. And now I would like to invite the arena to kindly raise alongside the VIP and the athletes to stand and show respect as we play the national anthem of Indonesia. Once again, please rise. Thank you very much, and once again, congratulations to all the teams who demonstrated incredible skill and sportsmanship throughout this tournament. We are truly united through esports. And of course, to all our fans watching from across the globe, thank you so much for tuning in to the grand finale of the World Esports Championship 2025 Women's Division. But don't go anywhere because tomorrow it is time for the World Esports Championship 2025 Grand Finals Men Division. That is it from Rose and the rest of us here at WEC 2025 for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Salamat malam.